morning and a big welcome to everybody and a big hello to my lovely community. My name is Ban, your host, and you are watching Red Kite, organized by Red Kite Community Housing, Better Futures. Look, I'm excited and I really hope that young people, realize their true potential through this event and they feel supported, informed, and empowered by, meeting all these wonderful people that we have organized today. Red Kite, they are always very big on young people. Young people sit right at the our organization and communities. And that's why we all have come together today so that we can provide that much needed support in terms of well-being, employment, training, and funding opportunities so that people can realize their true potential. However, this event wouldn't have been possible without the support of our guest speakers and contributors. So I would like to say a massive thank you to all of them. And a big thank you to Lee at VR Resource because he is helping us with live streaming today and tomorrow. Yes, you heard me right. This event is live streaming at the moment on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. So please do not forget to pop any feedback in the comment box and alongside with any question that you may have, because we would love to hear from you. So without any delay, let's get started. We have some incredible and inspiring speakers and contributors today with us. And I really feel absolutely honored to be amongst them. To welcome all these wonderful people, we have our Dipti Group Chief Executive, Alan Kears, with us today, who has a very special message for everyone. So let's hear from Alan.
Thank you very much, Baz, and good morning to everybody that's participating on the streamed event. Welcome to the Better Futures Youth event hosted by Red Kite. This is the very first time we've streamed a live event across all of our social channels at the same time, and we're really excited to be working with We Are Resource using their technology platform to meet a much wider audience. So if you like what you hear and you see today and tomorrow, please tag it and please post it on your social media channels. I was really pleased to be asked to open this event because we're a community-focused organisation, and what this means to us is that we're committed to realising the potential in our community. We're also really passionate about creating opportunity for people, not just in the local area, but also in wider society. But today's part of a much bigger plan for us, and that's why we recently launched our pandemic recovery strategy, setting out a clear plan to respond to both the initial and the long-term impact of COVID-19 on our residents and our communities. Young people in particular are the future of our community, and over the past couple of years, they've been hit hardest by the pandemic. So it was really important to do something to help and play our part. We're really fortunate to have so many incredible organisations supporting young people in Bucks. So over the next 2 days, we're aiming to bring them all together into one place to shine a spotlight on their amazing work. You'll hear some amazing stories and also get some great tips you'll be able to take away and use. A lot of work has gone into creating Better Futures, and I just wanted to take a moment and some time to thank Baz, Halima, Sophie, the comms team, and of course Lee at We Are Resource, who are behind the scenes in this fantastic event. So on to the event itself. I just wanted to share a couple of my thoughts on how you might get the best from today and from tomorrow. Firstly, history dictates that generations are often judged by their achievements and also by the challenges they face. And boy, do we have some big ones for this generation, not least the global pandemic, Brexit, and climate change. But history will also judge the opportunities and solutions that were taken to overcome these challenges. History dictates that after every global pandemic, there's a golden age, a decade where the economy starts to prosper, technology advances, and innovation is key. So there are opportunities. When it comes to Brexit, regardless of your political persuasions or whether you thought it was right or wrong, we are now in that post-Brexit scenario. And it means as a country, we've got to be, ironically, much more outward facing and global. So we've got to start to change our mindset to think like countries, for instance, Canada or America, or India, or some of the smaller countries like New Zealand or Australia. And finally, climate change is perhaps the biggest challenge to face humans in our history. And no doubt, the last 100 years of human activity and industrialisation has got us into this mess. But I've got absolutely no doubt that with this generation, your innovations, your solutions, and your technology will get us out of this mess. So with these unprecedented challenges, for this generation, your time has come. Secondly, these 2 days are all about opportunity. We have a really wide range of motivating and inspiring guest speakers and a fantastic range of organisations that are going to bring together practical opportunities, advice and information that can make a real difference in building better futures for young people. So please take advantage of this. And a final thought to share with you about getting the best from this event. There's a scientific definition of luck, and that's in seeing opportunities that others don't easily see. So somebody who's considered to be lucky or comes up with solutions to problems, see things the rest of us struggle with. So over the next couple of days, keep your eyes peeled for opportunity. And before I hand back to Baz, these thoughts have reminded me of when I was growing up at this age in my generation, growing up on a London Overspill council estate with people that were moved there from the East End of London. So I grew up hearing a lot of London slang, and people often wouldn't say goodbye to each other, but instead to friends, family and people they'd just met, they would instead say, be lucky. So it is a pleasure to welcome you all to the Better Futures event, streaming live today and tomorrow. Please do remember to share and tag other young people you feel may benefit from the information that's being shared. And finally, as a handover to Baz, from me, be lucky.
Thank you, Alan. That was our Dipti Group Chief Executive, Alan Cares. Thank you so much for that, Alan. Before I move on, I would like to say a big welcome to all the people if you have just joined us, a big welcome to all of you. And I would like to give a shout out to school children at Stony Dean School and all the other schools who are watching us right now. I really hope that you enjoy the event today. So I would like to introduce our next guest speaker. She has built her own company, Work Spa. She is the leading corporate well-being provider in the UK. Her clients includes HSBC, Amazon, L'Oreal, and many more. She has also won at national and regional award ceremony presented by Prince Charles. She is now an ambassador for the Princess Trust. What an achievement. But was it all that easy for her? Let's hear from the lady herself. Please welcome Grace Graham.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much, Baz. It's such a pleasure to be speaking to you all today. My name's Grace Graham, and I'm the founder of a wellbeing company. So today I'm here to talk to you about my life, all the obstacles that I had to overcome to become a successful entrepreneur. But before we get started, what have I told you that you could become anything? But more importantly, what have you told yourself that and believed it? I'm here to talk to you about the critical elements of success, happiness, and overcoming obstacles, resilience, built through some of our most painful moments. But before we get started, I would just like to say sorry. I'm sorry if you felt anxious and alone during this time. I'm sorry that you've had to deal with so much uncertainty, and I'm sorry if you lost a loved one. I had to find the room to say sorry to myself when I was going through difficult times. You see, we have a tendency to be quite judgmental when what we need to do is acknowledge that we've been affected. When we acknowledge that we've been affected, this makes room for us to be kinder to ourselves. So I hope that I can give you some inspiration about my journey and how I had to face many different elements of fear. And boy, did I have to change. But if I didn't make these changes, I would not be speaking to you all today. So, have you ever had an experience which changed your life and things were never the same? I've had several. My father passed away from cancer when I was 15. My boyfriend passed away when I was 19, and my mother died from cancer just only a year ago. You must be thinking, boy, this woman has had a lot of trauma, but haven't we all? Big or small, we have all experienced something in our lives that has really affected us. So where did my story start? I grew up in quite a rough area, Hackney. But I was really fortunate to be raised by a strong single mother, Jane, who taught me the value and importance of education. My father had Parkinson's disease, and when I would visit him, I would massage his hands to help reduce the tension from the medication, unaware at this young age that massage and healing would later become my destiny. But at times, if I'm honest, I was afraid to see my father, witnessing a sick man in a chair. But I realized that I had to face my fear, as I did not have much time left with this man who I so dearly loved. Sadly, my father passed away when I was 15. This left me very vulnerable and very broken. A few years later, I got into the wrong crowd and had to leave home for my safety. However, my mother was determined that I would not be defined by my difficult circumstances, and she wanted me to get to university. So I travelled down to sixth form while I was in hiding in the hope to get a place at Bristol University. And that I did. I got a place at Bristol University where I studied sociology and social policy. The summer before I went to university, I met this wonderful young man who became my boyfriend, and we spent the whole summer together. Sadly, he passed away just before I went back to university. My world was broken and I really wanted to give up, but I heard the voice of my mother saying that you must achieve despite your experiences. You must be more than your experiences. And so that I did, and I graduated with a bachelor's in science at Bristol University. I came home from university, and if I'm honest, I was still sad, I was feeling anxious, and how much I missed my father and my boyfriend was really, really affecting me. I realized it was time that I needed to start talking. You see, I had a tendency of not saying anything to anybody, and it just made me sick and tired. So I came back and I realized it was time for me to talk. So I found a counsellor and started to express my feelings, which made me feel so much more empowered and so much more, I had more compassion for myself. So I joined lots of different jobs and I was still really, really unhappy. And then I really realized that my passion for massage and healing others was something that I really wanted to pursue. So I did a diploma in massage and I got a massage diploma, which I was really, really excited about. Then I worked many different jobs and I was still really unhappy, and I realized that I wanted to set up my own business. So I got help from the incredible Prince's Trust. So the Prince's Trust, I went on the Enterprise program, an amazing program which teaches young people how to become successful entrepreneurs. I learned the many different skills needed, from how to make a sale, how to become more confident, and learning about my competitors and tax and all these fun things. So it was really, really incredible experience. And I felt really empowered for the first time. I felt like anything was possible. The Prince's Trust then asked me to become an ambassador, to speak at different events to help raise money for the charity. I was blown away. I remember when I did my interview and I told my life story, it was the first time that I felt, wow, I've been through all of these experiences, but I'm more than these experiences and I can achieve so much more. So my first talk was at Buckingham Palace. Then I went to New York and I spoke for the British Consulate Residency in New York. It was an incredible trip. Over the time as an ambassador, I met so many incredible CEOs of large corporations, and I had to step outside of my comfort zone, and I would approach them and tell them about my business. So why did I set up my business? A lot of them wanted to know. And my desire came from a place of, when going through difficult times in my life, I didn't always get the support in university or at work. So I wanted to help companies create infrastructures for their organizations where they can hold their employees when they're going through challenging times. So I spoke about all of this at my talks, and I was then awarded Ambassador of the Year awarded by His Royal Highness Prince Charles, because I raised a lot of money for the charity. So it was wonderful that I could give back to a charity that had given me so much. So now I was on my journey to building my business. And as I said to you before, my desire came from a place of really wanting to help people that were going through difficult times. So I had to find a team of professionals. So I found an incredible team of psychologists and coaches. And we now support, over the last 5 years, we've supported over 80 corporations across the UK and some really large brands like HSBC, Dr. Martens and L'Oreal. So we go into organisations and deliver courses on mental health awareness so that we can support organisations and employees in knowing how to spot the signs if they're struggling or feel anxious, and how leaders and management can really support their employees and point them in the right direction when they're struggling at work. So for me, it's been such an amazing journey, and I feel so privileged that I'm able, through all of the difficulties I've had in my life, I'm now able to give back to other people and to make other people feel safe when they're going through challenging times. So as you can see, I've had to go through quite a lot of things in my life, but what are some of the things that I've learned along the way that have helped me? Talking has been key. Talking, when we talk, it enables us to find the right support. So, if you're struggling at the moment, you find somebody within your family. And if that's not something that you're able to do, there are so many wonderful organizations that can support you, like Mind and Calm. There's some incredible charities out there that can support you if you're struggling. Also, I used to think that when I spoke about my emotions, that it meant that I was weak. And actually, I've come to realize that our vulnerability is our superpower. Talking about our emotions empowers us and enables us to feel and understand that we are not alone. I can imagine so many of you have felt so alone during this time. So it's really important to practice that skill of talking and reaching out. Embracing change, and boy, did I have to embrace a lot of change, which felt so uncomfortable. And have we all had to not go through so much change recently since the pandemic? But what I've come to realize is change gives us the opportunity to grow. And knowing and choosing the right change is also key to making our lives that little bit easier. Another one, facing our fears, stepping outside of our comfort zones. It can feel so much easier to stay in our bubbles, but it's really important that if we are given opportunities, that we say yes, and that we try our best to step outside of our comfort zones. So, for example, with me, I've been doing lots of talks, across the UK about my life story. And then I got approached by many different organisations to talk to young people or to talk about women's rights. And if I'm honest, I was quite scared. I was so used to reading the same script, and I'd memorised my life story, of course. But I realised that, in order for me to get more opportunities, I had to step out of my comfort zone. And so I practiced new talks and I developed, new speeches, and then much more opportunities came. So it's really, really important that we really be brave. And I can imagine for a lot of you, there's probably been so many fears around not taking your GCSEs or going back to school. And all of these are really, really valid fears. So as much as I'm saying step out of your comfort zone, it's also really important to say it's okay to be afraid. We're human beings and we're all going to be afraid at some point in our lives. A really, really important one for me was learning to be kinder to myself. And a great way that you could all start is by being kind to your parents, because I can imagine you've all been at home working from home, and it's a lot for our parents and for us all to juggle. So if we can be kinder to ourselves, that can really help the process. And think about that voice in your head. I used to be quite horrible to myself, if I'm honest, and beat myself up when I was going through difficult times. If I made a mistake, I'd say, "Oh, you're so silly, Grace." But now instead, I say to myself, "You've had a really long day. You're just tired." So is your voice in your head your friend or is it your enemy? So really think about how you talk to yourself, because kindness starts from within. So what are some of the things that we can do now, and what are some of the things that you can put in action now? Setting goals is so key. The easiest way to make a goal achievable is to define it clearly and make it easy to understand. So, for example, one of my goals is, I know that we've spoken to so many clients across the UK, and we know that they're really struggling in how they can support their employees in returning to work, because so many people are feeling quite anxious since the pandemic. So my goal is to create a course that really supports employees in, moving through their anxiety and helping them to kind of deal with change. So that's my goal. And then am I going to accomplish that goal? So I need to talk to my psychologists and schedule meetings to talk about what that course might look like. like. I might do surveys with my clients to find out really the specifics of what they need. And then when do I want to achieve that goal? So it's really important that we set a deadline so that we can make sure that we reach that goal. And for you, it might be something like starting a new university. And if that's what you want to achieve, have you spoken to your careers advisor? And when do you want to achieve that goal? So you might set yourself a deadline that you're going to apply to a certain amount of universities, and you're going to speak to your careers advisor by a certain time. So setting goals is really, really important because it really, really helps us to get tasks done and achieve things in a much easier way. Self-care is really important to me. And, when we're stressed or we might feel anxious, we can tend to not be, very caring or loving to ourselves. So it's really important with, my self-care routine. I have to make sure that first thing in the morning, I don't look at my phone. I give myself a moment to breathe and really center myself before I start my working day, especially if I know I've got a busy work week or a busy day with lots of meetings with clients. I'm going to make sure I have a really wonderful breakfast in the morning that will really sustain me. And thinking about some self-care rituals that you can put in place that might make you happy. So for me, after a long week, I might say, I've got this really new face mask that I'm going to put on that's going to make me feel really wonderful. Or I might put some lovely oils in my bath. Or for you, it might be calling one of your friends or watching a movie with your mum and dad or with your friends over Skype. So, think about some rituals that will help you, especially if you've been doing lots of studying, help you cut off, and so that you can unwind and really, really think about how you're going to care for yourself, especially during this time. Another one for me is affirmations. And affirmations are a way for us to be kinder to ourselves. So having kinder thoughts. So what I would do when I was going through difficult times is create a list of sentences that I would say to myself to help me feel less anxious or stressed. So for example, if there was lots going on I felt really overwhelmed, I would just say to myself, I am brave and I will get through this time. So it's just kind of retraining our brains. Even if it feels like everything's all over the place, we have to be the people that can reassure ourselves. And, maybe if you feel that you're not getting the things that you feel that you deserve, you might want to say to yourself, I deserve good things in life. So even if things, again, feel all over the place, we remind ourselves that we do deserve good, whatever is happening in our lives, and good will come. Write it down is a key one for me, a great way to get out of that head, because we can have lots of thoughts going on in our heads, and it's really important that we take time to get out of our heads. So write it down. If you've got a diary or a journal, try and write your feelings and emotions down. Particularly for me, I found it very hard to talk to people about my emotions when I was younger. So I would write my feelings down through poetry or just, what I felt, how my day had gone that week or that day. So, try and write your feelings down. It's a great way to put things into perspective. And it also helps us with our behavior, because sometimes if we're feeling a certain emotion, we can act very impulsively. But if we write it down, we can get a better perspective before we act in that emotion. So I'd like us all to take a moment to breathe. Why is breathing so important? It gives us time to be in the moment, especially when we have so much going on in our lives and the world outside seems upside down. So breathing centers us, and it also helps to increase oxygen to our brain, which helps to calm our bodies. So I'd like you to place your hands on your lap, close your eyes, and if this feels uncomfortable, then just have a slight gaze looking forward. I want you to take a nice deep breath in through your nose and a nice long breath out through the mouth, releasing any tension or anxiety. And again, another deep breath in through the nose and release out through the mouth. Again, thinking as though you're reducing any tension or worry that you've got in your mind or in your body. And again, one more time, a nice deep breath in. And as you breathe in, feel your stomach expand. Hold that breath. And a nice big exhale, removing all of that worry. And with your eyes closed, I would just like to read you a poem from my favourite author, Maya Angelou, who really helped me get through some difficult times in my life. You will face many defeats in life, but never let yourself be defeated. It is perhaps necessary to encounter such defeats to work out who you truly are. So what does that mean? We're all going to go through challenging times in life, unfortunately. That is life. But if you cannot allow these challenging times to completely bring you down, and it's okay, you know, we all will fall at times. And it's not about how many times we fall, but it's about how we get back up. And I've really understood and learned that actually it's the challenging times that have made me resilient and have made me grow. So when we're going through difficult times, maybe have that in mind, that this difficult time is going to help me to grow and become the greatest version of myself. It has been so wonderful speaking to you all today, and I hope you got something from my talk. It's been an absolute pleasure. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
Thank you so much, Grace. That was absolutely incredible. You know, your journey, what you have been through and what you have achieved. I think we all feel so proud of you. Really.
Oh, thank you.
Look, I've got some really comments for you, which I would like to share with you. So there's someone who has said, such an inspiring story, Grace. You have an incredible amount of strength. Thank you for sharing.
Oh, thank you.
Then we have got another lovely feedback for you. Grace, it is amazing to hear your story. You are such an inspiration. And then there's a question for you as well, Grace, there. You have achieved so much. What has been your proudest moment?
I think my proudest moment was when I stood on stage at the London Palladium and was awarded by His Royal Highness Prince Charles with my award for winning the regional and the national awards. It was incredible. And it was the first time I ever walked on a red catwalk. So I was really excited. And my mother was there. So that was wonderful to support.
Oh, I can imagine. I can imagine. And how was the party, by the way?
Oh, it was amazing. There were so many, you know, people that have experienced and achieved incredible things. And it's inspiring. Yeah. It's inspiring when you're on your own journey of achieving and you see people that have really achieved, you know, so it gives you hope that you can also become just like them as well. So yeah, it was great.
Absolutely. We have got another question here. How do we apply to join a Princess Trust Enterprise program?
So I believe if you just go on their website, then you can apply there. It's really, really simple. So you can just go on the Princess Trust website and get in contact with them there. And there'll be lots of people to call you. Or there's some a phone line, so you can call them up and there's always somebody to speak to over the phone.
Oh, that's great. Thank you, Grace. You know, you talk about so much and, you know, lots of things that has helped you throughout your journey, you know, to achieve all that amazing stuff. But who is your inspiration? I mean, for us, you are an inspiration, Grace.
Oh, thank you.
I think all the young, you know, ladies and, you know, children watching you right now, you are an inspiration for all of them.
Oh, that's very kind.
And who is that person that gives you that strength to keep you going?
Oh, well, there's so many women. It's really hard. So many women. I have to say my mother is one of them because she was the pinnacle of teaching me how to use my voice, how to reach out in times of need. And she was, you know, a really incredible woman. I really love Oprah Winfrey. So I used to watch her when I was younger. I mean, she's achieved so much. And, you know, I'm really inspired by women that have gone through really difficult times and they rise above their challenges. And then another person is Louise Hay. And I know these people are probably not that topical for you younger people, but Louise Hay taught me about how to learning about affirmations that I was telling you about before. So learning how to be kinder to myself. So they're my inspiration. There's so many, but yeah, there's some of them.
I'm sure about it. And tell me more, like we have spoken about, you know, your work life, you know, all your career journey, you know, all the challenges, but how is Grace? You know, what does she like? What you like to eat? You know, what's your favorite? Come on, tell us this. I'm sure people would be interested in finding out. You are a star.
Oh, thank you. What I love traveling. So before this, actually, I was really lucky. I recently just got back from Tanzania in Africa, and we went on safari. So I love adventures. I really love to travel the world, and my mum used to take us away a lot when we were young. I also love to horse ride. So I've been riding since I was quite young. So I love horses. Food, I love like curries. It's my favorite dishes. And oh, and I love eating quite healthy at home. So I make a lot of everything from scratch, really, like chickpea curries, lovely salads, and pumpkin soup. So yeah, I try and be as healthy as I can, especially when I've got, a lot to focus on. It's really important that you keep the mind and the body healthy. And I always start my day with doing at least 15 minutes meditation or grounding so that I can center myself before all of the traffic starts to come in from the emails and everything.
Absolutely. This is kind of my routine as well. It has to start from some sort of meditation because it just calms you down, I think, to be grateful for all the bounties that, God has given us. So it's nice to start with a little bit of gratitude.
100%.
Lovely. Like, Grace, it was absolutely wonderful to have you. Thank you so much. And I just want to say this to our audience and the people watching us right now, that what a humble person she is. I never knew Grace. The first time I messaged her on LinkedIn, I said, look, this is the event, we are working on. Would you like to be part of this, And I wasn't expecting, I'm being honest here, Grace. Because I thought, she's a busy lady. Oh, I'm not sure. Within 10 minutes, I received a reply and she said, yes. Send me through some information, and I would love to, have a look. And then since then, she has been so supportive, always available to talk about, the details of the event. Grace, can we do this? Can we do that? Could you please create the teaser? And she has been absolutely wonderful to work with and to have with us today.
So, my pleasure. It's so wonderful to be able to give back. When we learn, it's really important that we teach and give back to others. So thank you, Baz, for finding me. It's been a pleasure, and good luck, everybody, with your futures.
Thank you, Grace. You have a lovely day, and I wish you all the best. Keep it magic, and just continue, getting so successful, and I'm sure you're gonna go so far. So,
thank you so much,
Baz. Take care, Grace. Bye.
All the best.
Thank you. All right, so that was Grace Graham for us. What an incredible journey, and God, I'm so inspired by her. Like, it's never easy. Life can throw us into the deep sea, but those who knows how to come out of it or fight to come out of it are the real heroes. So great, fantastic. Now it's time for us to move on to our next guest speaker, Alice from Buck's Mind. Now, since pandemic, we all know it's been so tough for all of us. We can't travel, we can't meet with our loved ones, and it has had an impact on our well-being, our mentally, physically. I mean, I've been eating a lot of food, so physically, definitely, so so I think it has become incredibly important for all of us to make sure how to support not just only our well-being, but the well-being of the people around us. And this is exactly what Alice is going to talk about, how we can do it, how to understand to support other people's well-being as well as ours. So she's going to be with us now and talk through all the great tips and guidance with you. So over to you, Alice.
Hello, good morning, everyone. It's lovely to be here. Thank you very much, Baz. And it's really lovely to be following Grace from WorkSpark, because what wonderful tips she was sharing about how to support our well-being. So I'm here to talk about mental health this morning. And my aim really is to get us all to be able to chat about our well-being, talk about how we're feeling. So that's easy to do, and we can all just talk about our well-being. So I am from the children and young people's team at Buck's Mind, and as a mental health charity, what we do is we will not give up until everyone in the county with a mental health problem has both support and respect. So we really want to reduce the stigma around mental health. So just make it really easy for everyone to talk about their mental well-being, just as we would talk about our physical well-being. So we have lots of different services at Buck's Mind to support the community. So we have befriending services and peer support, counselling service, training for adults, lots of different wellbeing groups. So for example, gardening, yoga, art groups, and also our education service, which I'm here for today. So I'll go into schools or organisations just like this and get everyone talking about mental health. So it would be a good idea to start with, what is mental health? What do we mean by that term? And there's lots in the media and now included at school about mental health, so you might already have some idea. I've got here the definition from the World Health Organization, and it's quite wordy, but I'll read it out. So, a state of well-being in which every individual realises their own potential, can cope with the normal stresses of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to their community. So if we really simplify that, it's our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, and how that impacts on our life. So you can see there I've got the pictures of the inside out characters at the bottom of the screen. And part of normal and healthy mental health is experiencing all of those different emotions. So all of us will feel sad, all of us will feel anxious, all of us will feel joy at some point, and that's completely normal and part of normal mental health. And it's being able to cope with those different emotions and make sure that they're not getting in the way of our everyday life. So we can still be productive, we can still go to school, go to work. That's part of a healthy well-being. On my graph at the bottom there, you can see that our mental health can really fluctuate. So time at the bottom, that might be just one day where we're feeling really good in the morning and we have a bit of a wobble in the afternoon. Or maybe that's over a few weeks or a few months. We're having some good days followed by some more difficult days. And again, that's completely normal. So every single one of us has mental health because we all experience lots of different emotions. And that's completely normal that we'll have a whole range of different feelings. So then what is the difference between mental health and mental illness? So as I've said there, mental health is our general state of well-being. It's our state of mind, and that includes lots of different emotions. Whereas mental illness might be something that interrupts our mental state and how we're feeling and how we think, communicate, behave. So if we look at the spectrum at the top of the screen there, we can be in the healthy or coping range, where our feelings, our thoughts, they aren't interfering with our everyday life. So we might still experience those difficult emotions, but they're not stopping us from concentrating at school, engaging in our hobbies, and still living our life to the fullest. And then we have struggling and the unwell end there. So that might be when the emotions we're experiencing are really getting in the way of our life and making it really difficult for us to carry on with our usual everyday activities. It might be that it affects our behaviour. It might be that our routines are disrupted. And that's when we might need to find some support for our mental health. So mental illnesses are common. So about 1 in 8 children and young people will have a mental illness, and that might include depression, anxiety, behaviour disorders. So if we think about the average classroom of 30 children, that would be about 3 to 4 young people with a mental illness. So it's completely common, and we just want to make sure that everyone's talking about their situation. So if they are struggling or finding themselves unwell, we can find support and help them. So just like if we had a broken hand or we didn't feel quite well in our physical self, we would go and see the doctor. That would be exactly the same for our mental health. So we just want to make sure that everyone can go and get the support when they need it. So then, what can have an impact on our mental health? So this will be really different for everyone. So it really depends on what you enjoy, and what your situation is, and it'll be really personal to every individual what positively impacts them and what negatively impacts them. But it's really useful to take a moment to think about that and just sit down and have a think about personally for you what can influence your mood. So if we think of it as a bit of a balancing act or a scale, if we notice that we've got a lot of negatives that have been stacking up and tipping our scale, we should think about, okay, what positively impacts my mental health? What can I put in place to help balance that scale back a little bit more, add in some of those positives? So, for example, just as Grace had mentioned in her chat, that what we eat and how we look after our physical health, so our sleep, our diet, our exercise, can be really beneficial for our mental health as well, as they're really interlinked. So we know that that can really be positive for our mental health, is making sure that we're eating healthily, getting enough sleep, and getting some exercise. Just some examples there. And it might also be your hobbies that can boost your mood. And again, that'll be really different for everyone, whether that's reading, gaming, running, hockey, whatever it might be. And then on the negative side, maybe you're experiencing some stresses. So it could be, you've got some revision coming up, you've got exams, you've got a difficult situation at work. So it could be that we have stresses that are stacking up in that negative side. So it's good to be able to know what we can do on the positive side to balance that out. So leading on from that, these are some things we can do, we can add to our positive side to help balance our well-being. And they're called the 5 ways to well-being. So you might have heard of this before. The NHS used the 5 ways to well-being. And it was also devised by the Economic Society. So they know that it's a really efficient way of helping to boost our well-being. So this isn't a mental illness treatment, but it's something that we could all be doing every single day to help look after our mental health and our well-being. So if we just have a look at each of these, so learning, you may do lots of learning at school or at work or wherever you find yourself doing your main stint of learning. But it's also about finding something you really enjoy and you find interesting and investing a bit of time in that. So it could be setting yourself a challenge, and there could be a social media challenge that you really want to try. It could be discovering an old interest, trying a new hobby. And whatever it is, it doesn't just have to be sitting down and reading from a book. It could be, trying new recipes, trying a new craft, watching a documentary, listening to a podcast. And what this does is it gives us a sense of achievement and really, keeps our mind busy and a bit of fulfillment. So even if you only have 5 minutes to listen to a very brief podcast, or you've got a bit longer that you can dedicate, it's really good to think about what you can do to keep your mind active and learn about things that you find really interesting and capture your interest. Be active. So as we said, looking after our physical health is really important for our mental health. And when we're active, when we're moving our muscles, we get lots of chemicals released called endorphins, and they can actually really help to boost our mood. So we get a bit of a mood boost from being active. So it's about finding an activity you enjoy that's suitable for your level of fitness and that fits into your schedule. So it's not something that's a bit of a chore, it's something that we look forward to. And it absolutely doesn't have to be running a marathon or really strenuous. It can be as simple as doing a few stretches, maybe some yoga. It could be walking the dog. We've got a picture of someone doing a hula hoop there in their kitchen. I know that home workouts have become a lot more popular since the gyms have been closed. So whatever it is, just finding a way to move around. So I try and make sure that I get up from my desk and just do a few stretches, maybe even if it's just a walk around the block or into the garden while I'm working from home, ways to make sure that we keep being active in the day to get that feel-good mood booster. As well, we have taking notice. So this is about being really present. So similar to mindfulness, and there's lots of information on mindfulness online. So if you want to go and Google that, you'll find lots of different activities you could try and information. But it's being aware of the world around us. So that might include sitting and meditating, like our picture on the screen here, but it absolutely doesn't have to be, because we can be mindful in any activity during the day. Because we can use all of our senses just to really engage in whatever it is that we're doing. So if we're going for a walk, we can really listen out for the sounds we can hear. We can take in the smells, the sound, and the sights of nature, for example. We can really engage ourselves in listening to a piece of music, listening to the different instruments, the lyrics, and just being really present in that moment. And even when we're eating, if we're having a cup of tea or having a meal, noticing all the sensations and the flavours. And what this does, it just can remove a lot of our stress and make us feel more relaxed, as we're not thinking about what's happening next or what's happened in the past, but we're really engaging in the present moment. So that can be really, really helpful. We also have connecting. So this is building relationships, spending sort of social time with other people, giving people our attention. So this one might have been a bit trickier over the past year, since physical contact has been somewhat reduced. But the good news is that we don't have to be physically in the presence of someone to connect. So it might be that we're, playing sports, joining clubs, being physically close to our friends and family. But it could also be, giving someone a FaceTime or a text, as we can connect through technology, which is brilliant. It could also be reading your friend's favourite book or watching a film that they recommended to you, as it can make you feel more connected to them. So if you think about a way that you can connect throughout the day with your family at home or your friends, it's really useful to make sure we're building that into our week, to make sure we're still being sociable and connecting with those around us for our well-being. And the final one I have here is giving. So this could be doing something for a friend or a stranger, but it's also about giving to ourselves. So all that kindness we give out to other people and all of those helpful acts we do, we need to remember to also be kind to ourselves and remember how it's also useful to appreciate what we do for ourselves as well. So this could be the obvious things of giving, money or gifts or donating to charity, but lots of actions that we can do as well. So it's giving our time to someone. It might be, being there to listen to them if they need someone to chat to. Could be volunteering. So we've got a picture there of litter picking, for example. Or it could be as simple and as quick as giving someone a compliment or a smile when they walk past, as that can be really quick way to practice giving. And we know that this is really beneficial for the person receiving, but there's also lots of evidence that shows that it's brilliant for ourselves as well. So it's a double bonus, really, that the person who's doing the giving, we also get a feel-good factor. It's also really good for our own well-being. So you might already do lots of these things, as we've spoken through. You might think of lots of different activities in your routine that already cover these different areas, which is fantastic. But sometimes it can be a good reminder to make sure that we keep doing them. So, for example, I know that I like reading fiction books, and that helps me to keep learning. But every now and again, I realise that I haven't picked up that book in a few days, and I need a bit of a reminder to do that again. So it's useful to think about how much time we have and what activities we could do. Say we only had 5 minutes, what could we do to cover all these areas? Or if we had a bit longer, what are some longer activities we could do? So again, those will be really personal to you, depending on what you like to do, about your hobbies, what interests you. And again, just building up a bit of a schedule can be really helpful. So it's about keeping these going every single day, really trying to find something we can do every single day that covers all these areas, as it's really good for our well-being. But most importantly, and as Grace touched on in her talk there, we really need to talk to someone about how we're feeling. That's the most important thing we can do for our mental health, is make sure that we're not bottling things up, we're letting things out, and whoever it is that you talk to, whether it's a parent, friend, coach, teacher, just sharing your thoughts with someone. And then on the other side is that you being there to listen. You could be that person that someone comes to if they need to talk. You could be that person that provides that outlet for them to share how they're feeling and what they're going through. And by doing that, by talking about our mental health and being there to listen to others, we can really normalise talking about our emotions and our feelings. And that then can encourage others to do the same, create those safe environments where we can all share and we aren't keeping things bottled up. And as well as talking to our friends and our family and those around us, there are lots of organisations we can go to find support, particularly if we're finding we are struggling or feeling unwell. So on the right there, we've got, Kooth, the mix. They're national services. We've got Youth Concern in Aylesbury that offer counselling. Youth Inquiry Service in Wickham also offer counselling. And these services support people up to the age of 25. We also have the Samaritans and the Childline available 24 hours a day. And so shout, you can text the word shout to the number on the screen. And that's 24-hour service as well. And if you're over 18, we have counselling at Buckinghamshire Mind you can access. And there's also the Talking Therapies NHS service that you can access. And so there's always someone that you can speak to, and do reach out to these services. They're there for a reason. They're there to support us. And I just want to say thank you very much for being here and for listening. And I hope you can take something away. If you do want any more information, I've got our email and telephone number on the screen there. And if there is time, I'm happy to answer any questions. But thank you very much.
Alice, that was great. Thank you so much. Such useful tips and guidance on well-being. And it's such an important topic at the moment. Everyone is struggling. I've got some lovely feedback for you. Sharon has said she always feels so much better after some exercise. Joanne has a question for you. Have you seen an increase in mental health in young people during COVID?
Yes, so we've looked at a bit of the research, and of course there's some that's still coming out. It's very early days, but we have found that there's been, particularly by Young Minds, some surveys that's been done that's shown that there has been a lot of young people struggling, particularly with concerns about going back to school, that the fun aspect of school might really be gone, the change of routines, and young people really just wanting someone there to listen to them. So we have found, looking at those surveys from Young Minds, that there does seem to be an increase. Yeah.
Okay, great, thank you. And I've got another question from Carla. How can I stay motivated to look after my well-being?
Yes, that can be really tricky, can't it? Particularly when we're feeling a bit rubbish, finding the motivation to do all those things that we know will be really helpful for us. But one useful tip is to think about the 5-minute rule, and that's we will agree with ourselves that we'll do an activity for 5 minutes, and if we want to stop after that 5 minutes, it's absolutely fine, and we can still say, well done for doing that. But we might find that after we get past that 5-minute point, we do feel like we can carry on. So that's a good way to just get started on an activity that we know would be helpful for us.
Absolutely. And I think it can be anything, Alice, isn't it? It could be a short walk, or it could be like steps, inside the house, or, it's nice to go out anyway to get some fresh air. Every little things, it does help, I think. So I've got another feedback. Thank you for sharing the 5 ways to well-being. Great idea to log them so you know that you are doing each of them. And another question for you, Alice. Do you think the increased amount of isolation for young people will have a long-term effect on them?
Well, I guess we don't know really. We'll have to wait and see what the research shows. I think it will definitely change the way that we communicate. So I think there'll be a lot of change in more virtual, maybe work or lessons and things like that. So I do think that will change sort of the outlook. I hope it won't have a long-term effect, and I hope it won't have a long-term effect on all of us. Hopefully when things do start opening up again, that we can go back to normal.
Yeah, and I mean, we can hopefully, once we can start traveling, I think that's something I'm missing big time. So I think we all can't wait to be on the plane and to go to some nice places and treat ourselves. I think we have been doing great. I think the way we have tried to deal with it, and I think this is why supporting each other is so important. Young people really need that support, and that's why we have organized this event, Better Futures, for young people, so they don't feel that you are not alone. Young people, I would like to say to you right now, you are not alone. We all are with you. Thank you so much, Alice. It was wonderful to have you today with us, and thank you so much for your time. And I wish you all the very best, and hopefully we will work on other projects soon.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. It's been lovely to be here today.
Thank you. Take care. All right, so that was Alice Modi from Buck's Mind. Such great tips on, well-being. So important for all of us to make sure that we are looking after not just ourselves, but, the people around us. So our next guest speaker is here with us. We got Yasmin from Wickham Youth Action, and she's going to talk about, some of the great projects they are working on and some upcoming projects where young people can get involved and learn some great skills. She's also going to talk about volunteering opportunities at Wickham Youth Action. But before that, let's look at this intro video from her.
Hi, I'm Yasmin and I'm a project officer for Wickham Youth Action, and we have been doing Breaking Barriers 3 today. The background of Breaking Barriers came off of a conversation with the Youth Council, which Wickham Youth Action run, and they wanted to do something about racism and discrimination. So myself and another colleague came up with the project Breaking Barriers, because we thought it'd be really good to break barriers in our communities. First Breaking Barriers was very sort of like sport orientated for young people to try different sports. The second one was all about trying different types of food and different types of genres of graffiti. And this one has been about breaking barriers on creativity. And we've had Chiltern Rangers here, we've had glass artwork, which is completely new to a lot of our young people. Also had flat photography, doing some photography, and we've also had demographics, the graffiti artists, doing some graffiti art as well.
Hi, I'm Charmaine from Kapira. I've been working today with Amber from Mama B. So we've been helping young people learn about enterprise by making their own lunch. They've been creating sandwiches, they've had a price list that they can choose from, and they have to come under a certain price, and then they have to think about resale price. They can also earn bonus ingredients by answering questions on health, nutrition, and actually design the sandwich, design packaging as well, and think about how they would market it.
We also had some pumpkin painting rather than pumpkin carving, so it's a bit different.
Today we done body butter, and we also done glass crystal making. I also done fitness. I enjoyed it because I got to come out of the house and be with my friends and have a laugh. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Yasmin from Wickham Youth Action, and I've been a project officer now for nearly 5 years. We work with young people aged 11 to 25, and I'm just going to talk about some of the projects that we deliver. When we weren't in lockdown, I was delivering a project called Empowering Young Women. So I go into the local secondary schools, and the project's all about giving young women a voice, and if they have any issues that they can speak out. Some of the workshops that I deliver are on bullying, on confidence and self-esteem, peer pressure, sexual exploitation, and safety online and relationships. Now, this opens lots of conversations, and it is really good for young women to be able to do this. As well as that project, I also do a OK to Talk, which is aimed at young men in schools as well. As we all know, young boys and men don't speak about their feelings and any issues what are affecting them in their mental health and their well-being. So I deliver this project with Flux Photography, Victoria Baptiste, and we do some really good workshops with them. So far, we have done one workshop for a few weeks with New Meaning, which is a part of Toolshed. But I will be back in schools after Easter delivering this project again. Another project which we designed during the lockdown was a project called Back Together, because obviously young people have been affected a lot by lockdown, and again I thought it was really important that they had a voice to talk about what they wanted to talk about. And I know after the first lockdown and they went back to school, a lot of the young people that I spoke to felt that they just went back to school and nobody was really listening to them. It was like they just had to go back into school and get on with it. So again, the workshops were about reconnecting, so they could reconnect with their friends and their families, self-belief, gratitude, some of the things they might have learnt during lockdown and perhaps were grateful for. And the other workshop was also a workshop on hope, so things that they had hope for the future for, and how they saw their future going, because obviously a lot of time had been lost. As well as this, we did a lot of online projects to try and keep young people engaged, and we did a project called Better Together. And so it's nice to bring young people together online, so it wasn't anything too serious, so they could relax. Again, we had open and honest discussions about how they may be feeling. And during these weeks, we managed to deliver photography sessions, cooking sessions, recycling sessions, jewelry making workshops. We had talks on relationships. We had debate skills delivered. We had so many different things, and the young people really, really engaged in this. And again, it was we had open and honest discussions. As well as that, I've run a girls group which has been going now for nearly 4 years, and that's aimed at young women aged between 11 to 19. And during lockdown, we managed again to keep delivering this every Tuesday at 5 o'clock to keep the young people engaged. And we managed to do some sports with them as well. And again, we did some positive body image. We did some resilience training and so many different things that each week we have been meeting. After the first lockdown, we went back in the September to the December, and we delivered face to face again, with obviously the restrictions, and then obviously after Christmas again we went back to online. But our girls group will be reopening on face to face on the 13th of April, all being well. So it'd be so good to see young people come back again and be able to be part of this. Also, during the lockdown, we had a project called Breaking Barriers. Now, this came off the back of a conversation at one of our youth council meetings, because Wickham Youth Action also deliver a youth council where 2 young people from each school in Buckinghamshire join the youth council, and they deliver projects in the community about what means something to them. It could be litter picking, it could be mental health, various things. And in one of our meetings, it came up after George Floyd's death that young people wanted to do a project on racism. Now, myself and another colleague thought a lot about this, and we thought, let's make it a bit different. So we called it Breaking Barriers, because we wanted to break barriers down in the community with young people. So we came up with this project called Breaking Barriers, and the first one was all about different arts, sports, different foods, and it brought young people together from all over Bucks to come together and learn about one another. And it's been fantastic, I have to say. We've done Breaking Barriers 2, Breaking Barriers 3, and each Breaking Barriers has a different theme. Our next one, because our last Breaking Barriers 4 was cancelled because of the restrictions again, and we're due to deliver another one in June, and it's all about sport and movement. So this is to encourage young people to come out, try different sports, which they may not have the opportunity to try. So the sports will be boxing, will be martial arts, we'll have some dance, some fun sports, and it's going to be a fantastic event. So that will be going on in June. Also talking about some volunteering experiences. Young people are encouraged to volunteer for Wickham Youth Action. A lot of our young volunteers have come up through the girls group, so they may join when they're 13, 14, 15, and stay a couple of years, and then they can become volunteers for Wickham Youth Action. And we have had a couple of young girls come through this and are now volunteering for us. So again, we give opportunities to young people. So if anybody wants to join Wickham Youth Action, in fact, I've got 3 people I'm going to meet on the 13th of April who want to be volunteers for Wickham Youth Action. So if you're interested, just get in touch with myself, and my email address is yasmin@wickhamyouthaction.co.uk, or you can go onto our website at info@wickhamyouthaction.co.uk. There's lots of opportunities for young people to be part of lots of different things with us. We welcome anybody. So yes, just please get in touch. So yes, if you've got any questions, please fire away.
Hello, yes, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Baz. How are you? It's lovely to see your beautiful face.
Thank you so much for joining, Yasmin. You are a great lady, you know that. And I think this project, and I love the video. I think we have got a great feedback here. Someone has said I love the Breaking Barriers video from Wickham Youth Action. It looks like an incredible event. What an amazing project. Joe has said this to us. I have a question for you here from Sophie, and she has asked, how can people sign up to the girls group? It sounds brilliant.
All you have to do is head along to info@wickhamyouthaction.co.uk, or you can email myself, yasmin@wickhamyouthaction.co.uk, and I will send the sign up forms for you. That's all you have to do. That's it.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant. And I've got another question for loads of questions for you. Yes, you are doing.
No. Oh no.
Let's get into it. So now asked, what activities are planned for the girls youth group in April?
Sorry?
Is there something coming up? What activities are planned?
Oh yes, well the girls group, what we tend to do is ask the girls if there's anything that they would like to do. So it's their group. It's all about what they want to do. In May we have a project coming up with Mama Bees, which is another organisation that I work with, and they're coming to do a project on resilience. So we've got that coming up. We've also got a body positivity course coming up as well. We have another charity that we work with, Startup, with Juliet Hope, which is a young women's charity, and they come along and deliver workshops on making bracelets, body butter making. We have so many different things going on at the girls group. It's sometimes I can't cram it all in. There's so much. We had a project from last September 2019 to 2020 where we had a 30-week sports project which was funded by LEAP, and the girls did boxing and football, and even when we were in lockdown we still managed to continue to deliver this online. So yeah, we have so much. Yeah, we did. Yeah, so the girls did all their boxing online and everything. It was brilliant.
Oh, that is great stuff, Yasmin. I've got another comment for you. Thank you, Yasmin, for sharing the support that is available for young people. Absolutely amazing project. Love it. That it is hands-on. Breaking barriers, very positive. So you guys are doing great, fantastic. What else I have got? I have got another comment for you from Trevor. Is this program advertised in local schools? You have some really interesting programs. I think my son would be interested in.
Yes, well, we have lots of projects for boys as well. And when I go into schools, I normally talk to the young people about the projects that Wickham Youth Action do. If you go onto our Facebook page, there's so much on there. You can see all the projects that we do. You can see all the things what are coming up. So yes, we are out there, and schools do know about Wickham Youth Action.
Oh, that is great. Oh, and guess what? We have a comment from the Mayor of High Wycombe, Mass. He has said, "Well done."
Hi, Maz. He's brilliant, Maz.
Thank you so much. Yeah, Mass joined us. He is great. He's very supportive. You know, he was with us.
Well, Maz,
yeah, go on.
I met up with Maz a couple of weeks ago because he very kindly donated some money to one of our projects for the youth council. The youth council are doing a project. It's called the Knitting Grove, and they've set up a project to knit baby blankets for premature babies in the Stoke Mandeville Hospital. So Maz very kindly donated some money.
Oh, that is brilliant. I mean, he is quite into the community. He was, attended our graduation event last week, actually, and he, delivered his speech. So always supportive, always pick up the phone when I ring Mass. So,
he's brilliant. He's brilliant.
What else you want?
Yeah.
So, well, look, yes, you have spoken about these great projects, and I'm sure young people, listening to us right now, watching us right now, they are definitely going to sign up, for these great.
More the merrier.
Absolutely. And I just can't say enough thank you to you for your time. You are a busy lady. You joined us, you supported the event so much, and I'm grateful. And
Baz, you don't need to be grateful. You know I'll do anything for you, Baz.
Thank you so much. Yes, I wish you all the best, and I'm sure we will work on more projects moving forward.
Definitely.
And, you have a lovely day and take care.
Thank you, Baz.
I'll give you a ring.
Okay, thank you.
Bye. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was our Yasmin Harris from Wickham Youth Action. And if you have joined us just right now, I would like to say a big welcome to you. And those who have been watching us, I hope you are enjoying the event. Now it's time to move on to our next guest speaker, Lindsay from Bucks University. And she is here to talk about loads of career paths, lots of career subjects that young people can choose. And the great thing about Bucks University is the way they teach their degree courses in a vocational way, so that you have all those skills that is really needed in the practical life. So I'm going to move on to Lindsay. Lindsay, if you're ready, we can't wait to hear from you, Lindsay. Hello.
Hello, thanks very much. Right, let me have a look at my presentation. Right, so hello, my name is Lindsay Blake and I'm the Student Recruitment Manager for Buckinghamshire New University. You might have heard of us as Bucks, but we're about to be elongating our name to Buckinghamshire, and I haven't got used to saying it yet. Today, I'm going to tell you a little bit about us, who we are, where we are, and what we do. Sorry, my slides aren't moving on here. Let's get rid of that. Sorry, my slides aren't moving on. Let me try that one. There we go. Right, so we've got new in our title, but actually we've been around for 130 years, and we're a really modern university. So we're a new breed of university. So we focus on degrees that are professional and practical, as well as academic. We like to think we're young in outlook, but we're really well established in the fields that we specialise in. So you may know that we offer really high quality, professionally driven courses in everything from nursing, social and healthcare. We do cyber fraud detection, textiles, aviation. So we have a massive range of career-focused degrees that we deliver. We believe that our students should get a really hands-on experience to teach them the skills that they need to get their dream job in their chosen career field. and we teach them and we assess them in such a way that it actually is relatable to what they're going to be doing. So we don't do a lot of exams and essays and that kind of thing. We do things that are very specific to what they are going to be doing in their proper career. So where are we? Well, we are a very local based university. You may have seen the big blue building in High Wycombe. That's our main campus. And then we have the very beautiful Aylesbury campus and our Uxbridge campus, which is just inside London. Really town centre, really state-of-the-art facilities. Aylesbury and Uxbridge are concentrating on nursing and health-related courses at the moment, and the majority of the rest of our courses are based at High Wycombe. We don't offer many of the traditional subjects that you might expect universities to do, and things that people might have done at GCSE and A level. So things like history, geography, maths. That's not the kind of university we are. What we do offer are courses that have a very strong vocational element and a real route into employment. All our courses have a proper element of work experience, not just a formal placement, but working with industry on live commercial briefs. I mean, that can be in art and design. They're constantly in our fashion and textiles. They're working with top employers, doing live briefs and coming up with actual products, through to things like where you might expect it in business, where we're working with employers, charities, retailers on live briefs and actually doing stuff that they'll be doing when they graduate. Sorry, lost my place. We're also forging contacts constantly with employers, or it could be volunteering. I know on a lot of our psychology and criminology placements, they're volunteering. They're going on and working in place with charities, with mental health, with prisons, with probation service. And we think this experience is really vital to make sure our students are qualified for their chosen career once they've graduated. With us, it's all about getting your job at the end of it. We don't want you to come to university, sit on your bum for 3 years, learn something really lovely, but then not be able to get a job at the end of it. That's the kind of university we are. It's very much about moving you on to that next place in your life. So what does make us different? I'm just going to take you through a few of the courses that we do and tell you a little bit about them, to maybe give you some examples. Nursing. So I mentioned that we teach this from our campuses in Uxbridge and Aylesbury. Both of them have fully mocked up NHS wards that in an absolute emergency could be used by the NHS. But everything that you would use on an NHS ward is in there, and it's all proper equipment, and you get real hands-on experience right from day one. We call them our simulation wards. So you can see this is in Aylesbury, and they're doing a simulation on one of our really freakily realistic mannequins that we've got at Aylesbury. They really are quite scary, and they've got heartbeats. We can do simulations where you can see that their blood pressure is going down. They can blink, they can cry, they can make noises. You can kill them. It's fine. You just get to have a go at these things. So yeah, there's lots of simulations that you do. So you are learning these before you go off and do your first actual placement in a hospital. So we work with lots of the big hospitals within central London, out to the west of London, High Wycombe and up to Stoke Mandeville. And our nursing students get really exceptional hands-on experience for half of their time at books. It's clearly been a bit of a tricky year for them, but they have been able to get their experience, and they're extra. So they're not just working in an NHS hospital, they're an extra person to the team. They call it superannuary, and it means that it means that they are extra and they're just there to learn. This year we are launching Paramedic Science, and we've just taken delivery of our 2 ambulances, so they're going to get really great hands-on experience there. And we're going to be working with the London Ambulance Service and also with South Central Ambulance Service on that for their placement. So they'll be spending a fair bit of time on placement too, learning all that. And we're also about to launch midwifery with placements across London and the South East. And of course, all these kinds of courses are taught by people who have been on the sharp end, who have been working in nursing, in midwifery, and I believe Will, who's just launching our Paramedic Science course, he is still working for the London Ambulance Service. So he's still doing a couple of shifts just to keep his hand in so that he's really current. Film and TV production, it says what it does on the tin. So our students are getting real hands-on commercial experience. And when we say hands-on, we've got all the equipment that they need to be able to get a really great experience. So they can be out and about. We've got an outside broadcast van, and that goes out to local sports fixtures. And our students are there on a Saturday morning from 7 o'clock doing the cabling, the lighting, the sound, the cameras, and they're learning the really important tracking skills, because if you don't keep that ball in your camera and it goes in the goal, then you're in trouble. And then every 3 weeks before the pandemic, this is all before the pandemic, it's all going to take off again next year. But before the pandemic, BBC Introducing were coming in every 3 weeks, and they would bring up and coming music artists in, and our film and television and our music students would work with the BBC producers to film clips for the BBC website. So that's really fantastic experience for them. Not only are they actually getting hands-on experience, but they're meeting the BBC producers, they're working with the BBC producers. So when they graduate, they have the skills that they need already to get those kinds of jobs. Mentioned on here our commercial pilots degree. So it's airline and airport management with commercial pilot's license. So what our students do there, they are learning all about the logistics and the management of airlines and airports, but they're also at the same time learning to fly. So they work with our flying partners. Booker Airfield is one of them. And by the time they graduate, they've got a degree, but also a commercial pilot's license. I do have to put my hand up here and say there is some additional costs to learning to fly. It isn't included within your within your tuition fees. Sport and sports therapy, we do quite a lot of this, and they're really successful. So firstly, all our sports courses, a lot of them are leading people into careers within sports coaching, sports education, into community sports. But we have our Human Performance Lab, which is the base for all our sports courses, and it's got absolutely cutting edge technology. And we do get it booked out by professional sports clubs who come in and use facilities, and our students are there. So their students and staff are getting to network with these employers right from day one, as well as getting their degree. Sports therapy is one of my favourite degrees. And if you are sort of High Wycombe based, post-lockdown, we do have a sports therapy clinic where our sports therapy students do massages, sports massages. They're absolutely brilliant. And I think it's about £10 for an hour. So if you need a sports massage, come down and visit our sports therapy clinic, because our sports therapy students have to have quite a lot of, it's hundreds of hours of hands-on experience. So we have our own sports therapy centre where they can practice on the public, and within their first year they've got all their massage skills that they need for this. And we'll do things like we train them in sports first aid, so they can do touchline, and they have to have a lot of placement hours. So they're very much in demand by sports teams and by gyms, and that kind of experience they can bring to it. And lastly, just a little bit on our music and audio courses. So we have got the best facilities. They're really good. We've got all these studios and editing suites, performance studios and mixing desks, and it is all industry standard equipment that they are using, and they are trained very early on all the skills that they need for this. And then they're given a lot of free rein after that, but they've got these studio skills that they can take out and use in the industry. So they could go and work in a radio station, they could go and work in broadcasting. They've got those skills on the industry standard equipment that they need. So that's just a few of the examples of how we teach and the results we get. I could go on, I could wax lyrical for hours on books near university and all the different courses that we do and how we teach them, even to courses that you think would have no hands-on experience. We do it, and it does work. So we are in the top 10 universities for employment rate, and this is not just me making this up. You might be able to tell I do love my university, but there's figures from the Higher Education Statistics Agency. It shows that Buckinghamshire University has one of the top employment rates in the UK, and 98% of our graduates were in or about to start employment or further study within 18 months of graduation. So yeah, top 10. And I've been gabbling on a little bit, so I'm going to have to go quite quickly on my last slide. So what makes us different? We are achievable. So our UCAS tariff points, you don't need to have an A star to go to university. There's too much snobbishness around universities about how you've got to go to Russell Group, you've got to have 3 A stars, it's not for normal people. Rubbish. You don't. We are achievable. We go from around 3 C's at A level, and we love people with BTECs because they have those great skills, being very much hands-on. Small and friendly, so we do know our students. You will have the same tutor throughout your time. They will be approachable, they will help you. If there's a brilliant bit of work experience that comes up and they know that you are the person for it, they'll push you in the right direction. We do support our students. I think through the pandemic, we have been absolutely exemplary. The way that we've not tied them into contracts for housing, we've got rid of deposits for accommodation, we've kept our campus open. We have been teaching face-to-face within government guidelines wherever we can. And that support is there. And part of that is the fact that we are small and we know you. Hands-on really does mean hands-on. Hopefully I've given you enough examples of that. Employer-led, we're working with employers all the time, and we are future-proofing our degrees. So we are looking a couple of years down the line, what are we going to need then? The fact that a lot of our lecturers, our academics, are still working in the industries that they are teaching means that they're very in touch with what's going on there. Skills based, hopefully I've covered all that with the hands-on kind of teaching we're doing. Employable, showing you the figures, didn't make them up. And lastly, the big deal is something that's run by our Students' Union, and it means that apart from drinks and food, everything else within our Students' Union, all the societies, the sports, the CV building, all those kinds of things are free. Because at Books, we believe that everybody should get the same experience at university, and it doesn't matter what kind of background you come from. It's your personality, it's your future, and you should get the same experience as everybody else. So that's me, a whistle-stop tour of Books. I wasn't convinced I was going to fill the time, but clearly I have. If anybody got any questions, then obviously, hopefully we'll get some questions now, but do feel free to contact us. It could be advice@books or just me, and we'd be more than happy to answer your questions.
That's great, Lindsay. That was...
You see, set me off, point me in the right direction. You can't stop me talking.
Well, that's what we needed today. Anyway, we needed people who can talk and speak, and I think that was really good. It was really informative. And I've got a great message here for you from Nahida, and she says, I will be booking myself in for a massage as soon as we are able to.
They are brilliant. They are. Just like you come out, it's like, oh.
Have you taken one?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I love it.
Really? Great. And how can you book those massages? Just...
We book them internally, but you can, but we do have external clients. I think if you Googled the sports therapy clinic at Buckinghamshire University, you'd be able to find it. But yeah, our sports therapy students are absolutely outstanding. And sometimes when you think about university, people think it's a bit of an easy time. You're not working that hard. Our sports therapy students, they literally are working all day, every day. And if they turn up late for their lectures, they don't let them in.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's basically it's a professional degree, and they expect a level of professionalism from them right from the start. And it's amazing. You see these kids who turn up at 18 and they're a little bit, and they become these fantastic professionals, because you've got to be a professional to get a job in that industry.
Absolutely. And I think this is the time for them to learn all these skills, and the professionalism, everything that is needed, because when you go out in the world, it's a very different story there.
Yeah, I mean, and there are skills gaps.
Mm,
You hear about people. I used to think that film and TV production was a bit of a Mickey Mouse degree until I found out what our kids do and how hard they work and the skills that they come out with. And that there are skills gaps in that industry, in these technical roles, in the people who know how to do the lighting and the cameras and all that kind of thing. That's where the skill gaps are. There's loads of people who can write, like films, they're lovely, but to actually do it, that's where the skills gaps are. So I think that's the sort of slot that we fill as universities.
That's great. That is absolutely fantastic. So I've got a few questions for you, Lindsay.
Okay.
So Joanne has asked, if students' school grades are not what they had hoped for, can they still apply for courses?
Absolutely. So hopefully there's a thing called clearing in the summer. And the clearing, I always it's almost like an end of season sale. It's where all the universities who haven't filled courses put those courses up, and sometimes they have lower grades for them. Things I would say is, if you've not got the grades, talk to the university. First thing to do is call a university and talk to them. We're really friendly. And I think people think it's got to go through UCAS. It's all got to be very state. You can talk to us, come to an open day, come and find the course leader and say, this is what I've got. And the other alternative is we do a thing called a foundation year. And that is for people who haven't quite got the grades, and it's like an extra year. So it's almost like doing a 4-year degree. So you do a foundation year, and if you successfully complete your foundation year, then you are guaranteed a place on the first year of that degree course. So that is the way that is. And people use that if they're not quite ready. If they've like had a break from studying and they don't think they're quite ready to go into year one, they can do a foundation year as well. So I think first thing, whatever university, talk to the university first and ask them the question.
Oh, that is a great piece of advice, Lindsay. And I can confirm that you are a very friendly university, because they have friendly staff members there. My experience with you has been, you've been so supportive. Red Kite and Bucks University work.
Yes, it's always a buzzing day. I can't wait to be back on campus, because it's always a really buzzing day.
Absolutely, I'm sure that day will come back soon, and we will be able to run some of the events actually, like physically, because we do miss that buzz.
I think we can see that light at the end of the tunnel now. So
absolutely. I have got a question from Sophie. Does the uni offer financial support for students that might be struggling?
Yes, we do. We have a number of scholarships and bursaries. Some of them you have to be a specific, we do things like care leavers and people who are estranged from their parents. We have specific ones for that. Some of them are to do with academic achievement. Some of them are to do with hardship. We also do a hardship fund, which is like a short-term loan for students in crisis. And there's another one which I can't off the top of my head, but on our webpage, books.ac.uk, there is a full page on our scholarships and bursaries. And whatever university people might be thinking of going to, check out the scholarships and bursaries, because they're free and you don't have to pay them back. But also check out on your student finance if there are additional allowances that you could get, things like if you've got children, if you've got any disabilities, those kinds of things. If you've got caring responsibilities, there are additional pots of money that you can get.
Oh, that's fantastic. And there's a lovely feedback for you from Halima. She says, "Thank you, Lindsay. Love the last slide, particularly around challenging the snobbish attitude around joining universities. Really important for young people to know. Just call the university is a great piece of advice."
Absolutely. I think people are really scared. They go, it's UCAS, we have to do it this way. You don't. You can apply directly to a lot of universities, not for all courses. But if UCAS have this deadline for the 15th or it was the 29th of January this year, where they say, if you don't apply by now, you can't, which is not true. For the majority of universities, we will keep taking applications right up and through the summer. So don't think because that 29th of January has gone, you can apply directly to some universities, not all of them, some of them.
Yeah.
And you can still apply through UCAS. And we have certain courses, nursing, midwifery and things like that, you have to apply through UCAS. But most of our other courses you can apply directly to us.
Lovely, that is great. And you know what, Lindsay, I remember my experience of when I was applying to study for contemporary education. I remember the whole UCAS process, and panic, and oh my God, I can't miss the deadline, and I need to choose my top 4 or top 5, and so
yeah. If we've got any year 12s who are listening at the moment, we will be running a lot of webinars on Wednesday afternoons that you can just drop in, and we will be talking about personal statements and the UCAS journey and what happens when. Because if you've not been to university, if your parents haven't been to university, then sometimes it seems like this, like, oh my God, what do I do next? And it's really simple, but people just sometimes need to just be talked through it and go, this will happen here, this will happen here, this will happen here.
Yeah. Have you noticed low numbers of application, Lindsay? Because since the pandemic, it has hit hard on young people, and a lot of young people are not sure what to do, which path to choose, what career, Have you noticed?
We are not seeing that at all at the moment, and I think some of that could be to do with the fact that we are very vocational, so people can see, and we do things like policing and paramedic and nursing are all up, and I think that is to do with the fact that we've had this pandemic and people want to go into careers that can make a difference. We are outperforming the market at the moment, but actually, I think young people are looking at it at the moment and thinking, university might be a good bet at the moment to get myself skilled, because we're probably going to have some kind of recession coming along once we open up again. So no, actually at the moment our application figures are huge. So
that's great news. Oh, fantastic, Lindsay. Thank you so much for all your time.
You're very welcome.
Support. And for some reason, I don't know why, I can't stop myself, but I can see loads of medals behind you. What's the story behind this? Come on, you need to share this quickly.
I was a runner when I was younger, so it's just medals. They give you a medal. You only have to run, like, you don't have to run fast. I didn't win any races. It's just to taking part. So,
but it's still looking nice. I think like, oh, I've got tons of medals with me.
Yeah, just get that in the background.
Thank you so much, Lindsay, for your time today, and I'm sure we'll touch in near future again. It could be a job fair or anything else, but it's lovely to have you. You are our local university, and I'm sure lots of young people are going to apply, and you will receive lots of queries around vocational courses.
Come to us, we're lovely.
Oh, you guys are absolutely. Take care, Lindsay. Have a lovely day.
Thanks, Baz.
All right, so guys, Lindsay from Bucks New University, she gives such good piece of advices, and I think it's so important to learn skills that you are actually going to use when you are out in the market. Sometimes to read, there's so much to read about. There is so much to learn by heart stuff, theory and all that, which is also important, but I think for myself, I'm an experiential learning, so I learned by experimenting it. So and Bucks New University looks like they focus on experiments, and they focus on learning the skills, on hand skills. So that was great. Now we are going to our next speaker, and I'm just going to quickly check. We have got our Benson from the Fitness Garden, and he's going to talk about the connectivity between physical activity and mental well-being. He is also going to share an overview on health and fitness industry and how it is connected with the wider community. So let's hear from him. He's a great guy. I'm sure, if you go to Chiltern Shopping Center, that's where his outlet, Fitness Garden, is there. I really like the look of it, and he's doing great stuff in the community. So let's hear from him. Benson.
Hello, Baz.
Hi, how are you, Benson?
I'm very well, thank you. You good?
Yes, absolutely fine. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for inviting me. And I caught the end of the last conversation. The energy was very good. So I will try and continue in that vein.
Thank you. Well, I'm trying my best. I'm on 2 cans of Lucozade today. No, just kidding, just kidding. Nothing like that. But, it's the energy that I get from people like you, so inspiring, so motivated, and the greatest stuff you are doing in the community. So I'm going to let you speak and talk about, greatest stuff, the projects you're working on, and let the world find out.
Okay. Thank you, Baz. Thank you very much. So, hi, guys. As Baz has mentioned, I'm Benson. I'm from the Fitness Garden. If you see this logo around, that is the Fitness Garden logo, kindly put together by a local lady in Wickham called Desiree Blake, who is amazing. And I mentioned that because everything to do with the Fitness Garden has come together by local networking. I had an idea. I ended up living in Wickham, and local networking is a great way to get things off the ground when you don't have the resource of money. And I certainly didn't have that at the time. I'm sat today in the office of my other business, which is called the Fitness Concierge, which I'll reference along the way because I want to experience or give you guys an experience of both sides of the health and fitness industry. So what is the health and fitness industry? What is its job? Well, there's lots of different bows to it, lots of different things that people want to get from the health and fitness industry for those that engage with us, but also those that are delivering for us. And I just want to do a quick thing. So if you're watching this, wherever you're sat right now, don't worry about looking stupid. I just want to put your hands as high as you can in the air. You can't even see mine. They're so high off the screen. So hands up as high as you can. I'm hoping some of you are sat in your chairs doing this right now. As high as you can, remember. And then just go up a little bit higher. And relax. And the way I see our industry is to try and get you to do that little bit extra that you didn't do the first time that I said reach as high as you can. Because we're all guilty of it. And I'm pretty sure, I can't see you guys, but I'm pretty sure that every single person went that little bit higher when you were asked to, even though the first bit was pretty damn clear, reach as high as you can. So my responsibility in the health and fitness industry and as a leader of people in the industry is to try and get us to be able to influence people who are trying to achieve something great and just need that little bit more belief that they can go further. And that's what got me into the industry initially. And that's what I believe in now. And the Fitness Garden, the Fitness Concierge is a real sort of vehicle for us to do that. So I'm going to go into some slides. I'm going to start off with quite a nice visual. I'm sure you'll appreciate it. Okay. So in there, what you should be seeing now is four pictures, and they each represent a different thing. And I just want you to, on your own, you're not doing this for anybody else but yourself. I just want you to choose one of these 4 options. So you've got your health, the top left. On the top right, you've got money. Bottom left, you've got never working again. So you get to just live whatever your life you want to live without having to work. And then the final option is peace of mind. So you've got your health, you've got money, you've got never having to work again, or you've got peace of mind. And I want you to just choose one of those things. Now you can write it down or you can make a mental note, but you're only allowed to choose one, and that's the one you're guaranteed for the rest of your life. So hopefully you've all chosen something. I'm not going to share with you what I've chosen, but you're only allowed to choose the one. We're going to move on to the next slide. Now this one probably gets you a little bit more excited. On there, you've got a lot of different options, food and drinks on there. So I'm going to say you're allowed to choose 3 of these. And the ones that you don't choose, you're never allowed to go near again. So you're allowed 3 of these options. So you've got pizza at the top there. You've got a massive burger. You've got Chinese takeaway. You've got a selection of alcoholic drinks there. You've got ice creams. You've got Indian food, a selection of sweets, and you have crisps. So you're only allowed to choose 3. Take a moment, have a look at that screen. I want you to pick your 3 that you want to take with you for the rest of your journey on this planet. And everything else that you don't choose is not an option ever again. It's quite tough for some of us. I think I know my 3. I certainly know which ones I won't be taking with me for the rest of my life. But the 3 that you want, just make a mental note or physical note of the 3 that you've got. And the final one. So we're looking at activity. So on here, you've got some selection of things that you can do. So what I want you to do this time is only choose 2 of them. And they're 2 things that you can do forever. And the others are no longer an option to you. So in the top left corner, says just one more episode there. That could be Netflix, Amazon Prime, any of those streaming services that we all use, maybe too much sometimes. That's one of your options. You've got sports, whatever sports you're into. If you are into sports, that's an option. You've got walking. You have swimming. You have gym, going to the gym. You have group exercise at the bottom there in the middle, which is working out with friends or other people with similar interests to you. And in the bottom right, I've put gaming. So you've got 7 options there. You're only allowed to choose 2. So it's important you've only chosen 2. So we've had a look at a few different things. Now, I'm going to come back to that in a moment, but I just want to give you an overview of some numbers. So these are some magic numbers, and they're magic to me. They probably mean nothing to you guys, all right? But for me, they're magic numbers. And you can see one at the bottom there, which is particularly important to me and how I try to maintain a good level of physical and mental health going forwards. So these magic numbers, and this is what kind of qualifies me to talk on these topics that we're talking about today. So it's not all about certificates and all of that side of things. It's what life experience does Benson have to be able to help you guys around physical and mental well-being and what the fitness industry entails. So I worked out that up until August 2017, I had delivered over 30,000 inductions to new gym members. I started on my journey in the industry in 1996. So I was in there when it was the prime booming industry. We were opening new health clubs every couple of months for the company I worked for, and we would have 3,000 to 4,000 new members within the first couple of months. So I've done over 30,000 inductions for people that have joined a gym and said, I would like to achieve XYZ. I then went on to work out that I've done over 18,000 personal training sessions. That's me plus one person working one-to-one on their health and fitness goals. And it was more health and fitness than mental goals. But more recently, it's nice to see more people are coming in and looking for support around their mindset as well. Over 3,000 group exercise classes have been led by myself. That's me up the front of the class, trying to G people up, doing lots of different things, whether that was spinning on the bikes, circuit training, HIIT training more recently, many different types of things. And I'm not including sports coaching in that. And I've delivered over 400 workshops similar to this for corporate clients. So companies out and about who are looking to look after their staff. So all of those things sounds very sort of egotistical and all, look at me. It's not for that reason that I'm telling you that. I'm letting you know I've had a lot of experience around health and fitness, and I've been in touch with and connected to and privileged to work with many, many different types of people with different goals. I mentioned 2017 as the reason as the time I stopped measuring these, because in 2017, my mental health and physical health took a very, very quick turn for the worse. What I know now is that it was deteriorating over a period of time that I wasn't addressing, despite some people very close to me telling me that I should keep an eye on how hard I was working. Maybe I should spend more time with my family and friends. Maybe I should not drink so much. Maybe I should start exercising more, because although I was working in this industry, my obsession was helping others, but it wasn't for the reasons that sounds. It was for the more people I helped, the more money ended up in my pocket. And the more money I had, the more I could buy of material things that I felt gave me a status and a worth on this planet. I crashed and burned in August 2017, literally overnight. And I literally released a pressure valve that took me on a 277-day journey of self-destruction. And within that 277 days, I was in and out of hospital on numerous occasions. I was suicidal, and I had totally taken all focus on my mental and physical health out of the equation, and I was on the road to nowhere. Well, in fact, I was on the road to one outcome, and that was death. Thankfully, I was helped by the people at Stoke Mandeville Hospital and subsequently taken to the YMCA hostel in High Wycombe, who led me on a journey to finding a way out of this place of no hope. And that's very important for you guys to understand that, because health and fitness for me had always been around physical and mental health. I worked in it every single day for all of those numbers that I just mentioned, yet I wasn't focusing on my own. And I built a reputation of being very good at helping others in health and fitness, yet I wasn't applying the same principles to myself. I felt I was invincible. I thought I knew it all, and I wasn't prepared to accept help. So when I came out of that darkness in May 2018, it was very obvious by that point that I needed to do something different. Benson's way wasn't working anymore. I needed to accept help, which really, really hurt me that I had to do that. but I'm really pleased today that I've done that because it gives me opportunities like this to work with others. So at the bottom, you can see the 2 companies that I've set up since May 2018, which I'm very proud of. And I'm particularly proud of the Fitness Garden because it is a way of working that I would never have considered in my previous life. And it's based around these 3 principles that I've worked with for a very long time on people. So I like to keep things simple. I don't like to overcomplicate simple things, especially when people are coming to ask for help around their health, fitness and mental well-being, because our head's already busy when we get to that point. So we need to make sure that we simplify it at the early stages, and then we can get more complicated further down the line. So I created this template some time ago, long before my life went wonky, and I've reintroduced it with a new energy and a new understanding from my own experiences, that the 3 things that we really need to focus on are what are we thinking, what are we eating, and what are we doing? And I call it TED. And I ask people to do their own TED talk on themselves, whether they do that daily or whether they do that weekly or whether they do that as often as they need to. I think it's a healthy way to look at where you're at and try and find solutions to move to a better place. And sometimes one of these areas will be absolutely flying. I know so many people who exercise regularly, really, really hard, yet they're not happy. And it confuses them because the industry tells people that if you exercise more, you'll get the results you want and you'll be happy. I know firsthand that's not true. If your eating's not going well, if you're not looking after your food, it really does have an impact on your energy, which will then mean every physical activity that you do is a real chore. And if your mindset is that you're not good enough or you're not happy in certain areas of your life, you will never be able to take enough foods out of your diet or do enough activity to counteract that negative mindset. So we need to be very aware of these 3 areas, and I call it TED. So we've got what are you thinking, what are you eating, and what are you doing? So I'd now like to focus on what I call the best of both worlds. So I'm going to come out of there and stop sharing and come back to the main screen. So when I say best of both worlds, what I want to mention is there's 2 sides to the industry. You may hear people refer to 3. You've got the community sector and you've got the corporate sector, the commercial sector. So the commercial sector is your health clubs, gyms, the ones that you see out on the streets, advertising. You'll see them on your timelines like crazy in the coming weeks and months, telling you that if you pay this much money per month to come to our facilities, you will have the smiles and the physiques that you're seeing on our adverts. That is the industry. I've been part of that industry. I've been very good at selling those memberships to people that maybe don't even need them, but it put money in my pocket, like I said. I don't like that side of the industry, but I understand it. It's business, and there's some great careers to be had in that industry, and I'd encourage people to pursue it, especially if you've got real good intention of helping others. It's a great way to earn a living, and you really do meet some amazing people along the way. I really do love that side of the industry. Just sometimes I don't like it too much. The community side of the industry is where you can go out and offer some positive interventions to people that are in difficult places. And that's taken me to the Fitness Garden. So I'm going to show you what the Fitness Garden is all about. We're a community interest company, which means we don't make profit. Anything that we do make as a surplus goes back into the community to try and help more people in different ways. And that's how we met Red Kite. They really helped us out in getting our facility set up in High Wycombe. And since that point in August 2019, I'm proud to say that myself and up to 18 different coaches have delivered projects in partnership with many, many different organizations, way beyond my expectations. Partly that's because I underestimated the need in the community. I was astonished how many people really were struggling, but also I've recognized that there's so much opportunity for collaboration. And what that means is there's opportunities for you guys if you were looking to work in the health and fitness industry that maybe you didn't think was a thing. And I'm going to just talk you through some of those before we get to a question and answer. So I'm going to share the screen back up. And these are some of the partners that we have been lucky enough to work with so far as the Fitness Garden CIC. So one by one, a quick overview. So One Recovery in Buckinghamshire is a service that helped me bring my life back on track. They specialize in supporting people that have gone too far with either alcohol or drug addiction. For me, alcohol was taking over my life towards the end. It was the only thing that I wanted to do day to day. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to be out in public. I just wanted to sit in a room and drink. obviously that's only got one outcome if you don't get out of it quick, and one recovery bucks to help me get out. And alongside them, we worked with Phoenix, a guy called Lewis, who's amazing, and hopefully you'll meet Lewis at some point. Phoenix is his brainchild that supports the same people from One Recovery, and his warriors are really achieving amazing things. Lockdown's taken its toll on all of us, but I hope to see Lewis soon and see where they're up to. Buckinghamshire Mind work with people with mental health challenges, and we've been lucky enough to support through yoga and mindfulness sessions, which we've also done with the Department of Work and Pensions and Red Kite, along with some higher energy activities. Now, Wycombe Wanderers are on next. Now, I'm not going to spoil their thunder, or they're on at some point. I've seen Mark in the chat. Now, he is someone that I connected with and got us introduced to young people that were having tough times. Some had been moved from mainstream school, and that led us to work with Aspire and community groups that work with youth offenders and young people that may be getting led down the wrong path. I'll fast forward through some of the others because there's similarities in there, but with Mind, Hillingdon for All and Hacks, all of those organisations have used our coaches to deliver a variety of different activities, more recently online, to help people young and old to be more active and subsequently feel more positive about the challenges that they're facing. And let's be honest, we've all got challenges right now. Denham Parish Council, we're working closely with young people over there, as we are with Carers Trust Hillingdon. Wycombe Youth Action have invited us to work on their Breaking Barriers program, which is an amazing concept, and we've been lucky enough to be on 2 of those events and hopefully a third one coming soon. Community Youth Ventures and Trailblazers. Now, Trailblazers and Leap, I want to give a double mention to. Leap fund a lot of our projects. So because we're a non-for-profit and because we want to give these services to people free of charge where possible so that they can access things that they normally wouldn't have, Leap have been amazing for us, and they support sport and physical activity across the whole of Buckinghamshire, and they've allowed us to connect with people that would never get the opportunity to work with such brilliant coaches as they have, and that's led to them really believing in themselves and doing some amazing things even through a pandemic. So I'm really excited to see what more we can achieve as we come out of this, and we need people to be on our side and help us do it. So if you guys are looking to get into a career in health, fitness and mental well-being, please do get in touch, and I can help you with that. And people like Leap are brilliant, as are Hillingdon for All as well. And Trailblazers, I'll just mention because I volunteer for Trailblazers. Trailblazers work within prisons, and I've been lucky enough to work with young men in Aylesbury Prison who are serving long sentences because they've let things get out of hand. And our aim is to try and keep them in a positive place, but also to help them transition back into the real world when they come out after potentially 2, 3, 4 years inside prison. So Trailblazers is something that's close to my heart as well, because I used to train a lady who was very influential in getting me into Trailblazers. And when I first asked her to get involved, she wasn't too keen, although she gave me the paperwork. And I now know why. And I'm going to come out of this to just come back on screen. I now know why Sarah wasn't keen for me to be involved. And it was simply because she could see how erratic my mind was. Life hadn't gone bad at that point. I still had the material things to present a good life. But Sarah realized that if I couldn't keep my own well-being in check, helping young men in prison to try and get their head in check probably wasn't a good idea. So I've now met up with Sarah since my life changed, and I'm now an active part of the Trailblazers team and working with young men that are being released from prison, which I'm very proud of. So I'm going to go to questions and answers with Baz if we've got time, but I wanted to make sure that you got a real overview of what opportunities are there, how my life's changed in terms of my motivation for being in the fitness industry being purely status, ego and money, and now being able to deliver such meaningful work and still get that satisfaction of helping people. So I hope that's been useful to you guys. Baz, I'm ready.
Yes, Benson, it was fantastic. I've received some great feedback on your session. Lots of people have said that, it was great of you to share your personal journey with us, and also for your openness in sharing your story. It's so inspirational. I've got a few questions for you as well.
Okay.
Alima has asked, but she has said first, thank you for sharing your personal story. Great to see the power of resilience. If a young person wanted to get into the fitness industry, what would you say is the first step?
I think the first step is to have a conversation with someone who's working in the industry, and be very honest with your reasons why you think it's the right reason for you. Because some people, young people, get into the fitness industry because they think it'll be a cool environment to work within. I get to train every day. I get to wear tracksuits and trainers to work. And it is that, but it's harder work than it presents as. My learning firsthand is that a lot of us fitness professionals that you see on Instagram and out there portraying all this real high confidence have actually got a lot going on in the background that they can't show on Instagram and out in public. And some of them, like myself, will be open to tell you the challenges, but we stick around because it is an amazing industry to work in. I can't see myself being in anything else. But you need to understand the all levels of it. It's not all show. And you need to be good at admin. You need to be good at sales. You need to be able to work with all different types of people, because the people that look how you might want to look probably aren't going to pay for your services. So you might be working with the different crowd of people to what you actually want to work with. When I was a young man, I wanted to work with lots of pretty girls for a few years. And then I realized I wasn't making any money because I kept letting them have training for free. And then you realize that you might need to work with some older people who've got money to pay you and actually really want your help. So there's a lot of learning you can get from talking to people who've been around, who've learned to be honest and humble about their work.
Well, that was a great piece of advice, Benson, to all the young men out there. One last question for you from Sharon. Do you have any fitness sessions online for people to do?
All of our sessions at the moment are in collaboration with partners. So they have their cohort of people and we provide a service directly to them. But we do have lots and lots of partners that we can signpost to. So my time in doing the Fitness Garden has brought me close to lots of different coaches locally who deliver amazing online stuff. And the humility I've learned in the last 3 years is that I will happily direct people to those guys and not try and take it all myself, because these guys are doing brilliant work. And it's an area I've moved out of into the community side, but I know some brilliant coaches in and around Buckinghamshire that are doing online sessions. And yeah, I want Fitness Garden to be the place where people can come and ask those questions. We can, especially now that we're coming out of this and people are going to want to join gyms. We have no affiliation to one place, but we know lots of good people. So feel free to message us through our channels, and me and the team will always give you honest, free advice.
That's great. Brilliant. And you know what? A big thank you, Benson, for joining us today. It was fantastic to have you always. You have a great energy, such positivity, and you are so motivating. Love the work that you do in the community. But before you go, I just want to ask you quickly, what did you choose from your junk food screen? I want to know that.
I had burger, curry, and Chinese.
That was a hard question. You know what? And we received lots of comments from people, and they said they want all of them. It was hard for them to choose.
The beautiful thing is, and the reason I've used those slides many times, is because there's no right or wrong. And the self-awareness that hopefully you've kind of seen is important. The self-awareness of why you choose those things over the others is what will give you the solution and the answers to where you're trying to go. So if you're choosing these things over stuff that you know in your head is actually better for your physical and mental health, then we need to work out why you're choosing those things rather than why you're not choosing the others. And that is a really useful tool in terms of seeing, okay, why am I choosing burgers? Why am I choosing Chinese? Well, because it's tasty. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that means I don't need to get it out of my life. I just need to limit the amount of times I have it. Because if it's because it's tasty, I don't want to give up something that's tasty. I need to find a solution that allows that to be in my life, as well as what else is needed to get where I want to be. So it's kind of all about balance, really. The same with the activity and the thinking.
It's a balance,
What did you think on the 4 options for health, money, peace of mind, or no work ever again? What did you choose? You can't say no work ever again because you're at work.
No, work is something I've really enjoyed. And, I work really hard to be where I am at the moment. And this is something, I'm kind of person who needs to have something in life. So every morning to wake up to do something, that's the goal of my life. And I thoroughly enjoy it. I love my job. And Red Kite, it's an amazing company to work for. But I have, as I'm growing older, I have started realizing that happiness and peace of mind is the most important thing. Once you have got that, I think then you can achieve anything. The rest you can achieve automatically, but you got to be happy. You got to have the peace of mind. That is so crucial, because if that's messed up, you can't deliver anything, So that was for me. And a pizza once a week, absolutely.
Okay. Well, it's similar to me. Peace of mind is now my first choice, but I didn't know what that was until quite recently. And I thought people who had peace of mind were lazy. I thought they didn't have drive. I thought that they chilled out every opportunity they got. And I had that very wrong. I now know that peace of mind has allowed me to build a lot in a short space of time and have a smile on my face a lot more often. So yeah, peace of mind would be my first choice as well.
Fantastic. Look, keep putting the smile on people's face and keep serving the community. We need more people like you, Benson. What's a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much. And I'm sure we'll take care.
Thanks, guys.
Lovely. So what an inspirational, motivational talk by Benson. Always love to have him on board. Now we're going to quickly move on to our next speakers who are eagerly waiting to share lots of opportunities around sports and health sessions, as well as training, employment, and volunteering opportunities. But before they start talking, let's take a look at this video.
Hello. Oh, what's going on here? Sorry. Hi, good morning. Good morning, welcome. My name is Mark, and I'm joined today by G from Wycombe Wanderers Sports and Education Trust. We're here to talk to you today about opportunities in some of the activities we have that you can take part in, as well as training and employment opportunities. So the first thing is, I'm going to give you a quick overview of who we are. Wycombe Wanderers Sports and Education Trust, the charitable arm of the Wycombe Wanderers Football Club. We use the popularity and the brand of Wycombe Wanderers to engage the community in various activities that include health, education, social inclusion, and sports participation. We aim to have the biggest impact we can on people's lives in the community. One big misconception around charitable arms of football clubs is that everybody thinks that we get lots of money from the football club, and that really isn't the case. We are a separate entity to the football club, but we just use the power of the badge. What we like to do is we go out into the community and deliver lots and lots of different sessions. Some of the sessions that we deliver are listed on the screen here. So sports participation, you can see these are the guys that go out into the schools, the holiday courses, and deliver the holiday clubs and PE lessons and things like that. Social inclusion offers lots of free opportunities to young people to take part in physical activity. Education, we do lots of different courses ranging from working in primary schools, secondary schools we work in, as well as training, employment courses for adults as well. And we also have a number of different health opportunities and courses that G is now going to talk about.
Hi, Mark.
Hi.
Yeah, I think G has been, she was keep losing the connection.
Right, okay, that's fine,
Yeah.
no problem. I'll keep sharing and I'll continue.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so our health department run a number of different courses. So one of them that G's heavily involved with is the Keep Moving Forward project. This helps people on their mental health and their recovery journey. It's a supportive group of people with 3 activities that take part each week. They range from a wellbeing walk, Indian clubs and yoga. These are very relaxed sessions whereby people can share their stories, have a chat with everybody in the group, with the staff as well, and help them on their journey. And that is open to anybody that is looking for a bit more support, particularly in these current times, that is over 18. And G, I'm hoping we'll pop back in a minute and be able to give you a little bit more information about where and when they take place. Another health initiative that we've got running at the moment is called Doorsteppers. So this is for anybody that might be experiencing isolation through the current pandemic. It's an opportunity to have a weekly visit or talk with somebody in your community on your doorstep. We appreciate that people are obviously shielding at the moment and may not be able to get out. So having that friendly face popping around once a week is a nice something to look forward to, and we're there to help and support you in whatever you need. This project you can still sign up for. There is only a week left, but we will be able to then divert you and signpost you onto other projects to help you on your journey.
Hi Mark, do you want me to do the next one?
Thank you, G. Yeah.
So another one that we do is Get Active. So this did previously run, and we're looking to start that again in July. And it is a weekly physical activity session for people living with disabilities. It'll be running at the Hive in High Wycombe. And then if anyone is interested in sort of reserving a session space, or you want to know more information, then please do contact me on my email address, which is there. If you need to find my email address later on, it will be on our website. And then we've got Fit Extra, which is running at the moment. So this is for anyone over the age of 18 who's looking to get a bit more exercise into their weekly routine. It's a weekly fitness session and it runs on a Monday evening on Zoom at the moment. I'm hoping that will move back in person when we can do. It will be held at Creswicks when it is in person. But again, if you want to book, please do just send me an email over. We do all sorts of activities, but you don't need any fancy equipment, just stuff that you've got at home.
Okay, so being a football club, we've got lots of different partners that we're able to draw down funding for. And one of those partners is the Premier League, which I'm sure everybody's heard of. The Premier League give us some funding and we're able to deliver some free sessions out in the community. One of them that we run is called Premier League Kicks. It's a girls active session. These are girls only fitness sessions for any girl aged between 12 and 18. They run at the Green Street Community Centre on a Wednesday evening when we're allowed to. They're currently online. Like I say, they are free, and all you would need to do is to email Claire on her email address at the bottom there, and she will be able to book you on onto this. The good thing with the Girls Active session is you get to choose what activity you want to do. So the coach we've got is able to deliver a wide variety of physical activity sessions, and each week you choose what you want to do. So it gives you some ownership of your physical activity. Another Premier League Kicks project is the Friday night football we have at Highcrest. Again, this is for people, boys and girls aged 12 to 18. That runs from 5:30 till 7, and that is free. The good thing with the Premier League Kicks opportunities, not only do you get to play, but you can also volunteer and gain some work experience. This may be of interest to some people that want to work in the sports industry, particularly football. what you would need to do is you would need to email Claire and she can arrange those for you. But if you do come on board as a volunteer, we're able to give you kits. We will also put you onto relevant training courses in order to help you move closer to the work industry of football and sport. Similarly, as well as Friday, we also have kicks on a Saturday evening. That runs from 5 till 7 at Cressex AstroTurf. And again, there are volunteering opportunities for anybody that wants to get involved up to the age of 24. Then again, Claire would love to hear from you in order to come along and work with us and volunteer with us. Jean's going to give you a little tour of her journey into the sports industry and how she got here, and we will then talk about how you can potentially follow in her footsteps. Jean.
Okay, so I went to secondary school, and my secondary school offered a sports GCSE, but I then chose to move and wasn't able to study that at GCSE level. So I started looking around, and I found that Flackwell College, which I think is Bucks College Group now, had a sports studies course. So I enrolled on that and managed to do that for 2 years, came out with really good grades. And then I thought I would look into the industry I was interested in. So I was sort of interested in people, football, helping others, being active. And I found a sports psychology and coaching course at Bournemouth Uni. So I then applied for there, got myself there, and I studied there for 2 years. I got lots of different experience through doing this, such as coaching work. I got to work with different types of people. It really built up my confidence in the industry. And it let me understand that there's more to the footballing industry than just being a footballer. So obviously, I've finished that degree, and then I decided to start looking for some jobs. And I found an apprenticeship with Wycombe Wanderers Sports and Education Trust for a community sport and health officer. There we go. And it was a level 3 apprenticeship, and it meant that I could learn on the job whilst getting paid and still having that education side of things to sort of better what I was doing. And then at the end of that, I got offered a full-time contract. So I was able to use my different knowledge, skills and experiences to help me sort of progress with my job. I ended up winning Young Charity Women of the Year award a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, that was my journey. I went from college, lots of research and getting out there and looking for the practical things and putting my interests in with what I wanted to do. And it's led to me being with this organisation.
Lovely. Okay, so some opportunities we've got at the moment. We are part of the government's Kickstart scheme, and we've actually got jobs advertised at the moment. So if you are unemployed, you can speak to your work coaches about this, but we've got 3 roles that we're actually advertising for at the moment. First one is an education assistant to go out into schools, primary and secondary schools in the local community, work with other members of the education team, supporting young people in the class setting and also doing some mentoring with them. We're also advertising an office admin assistant. Again, this will be based at Adams Park primarily, and that will be working in the office. And another opportunity that's going live any day now is coaching opportunities. So if anybody is interested in coaching or has a level 1 or 2 coaching qualification, then we would love to hear from you, because we are looking for some coaches at the moment. The best thing to do is keep an eye on our website and our social media for more opportunities that are coming up. If you do want any more information, then you please feel free to email me. But in the first instance, you will need to speak to your work coach. Other opportunities we've got coming up in the future, we will be offering our education apprenticeships again. So that is open to anybody aged 16 to 24, and there are a number of different levels that we're going to be offering. So we're going to be offering the Community Sports Activator Level 2, which you can see the two guys on the left have taken part in and have completed. They now both work full-time with us. This role is primarily out in the community, coaching football, helping in PE lessons, also helping with our development centre and academy in the evening. We are looking to start that in August. Again, for more information, you can email Kurt. More information will also be going up on the website in the next week or so. Another opportunity, we will be running the 16 to 18 traineeship from September. So if anybody is 16 to 18, not sure what they're going to be doing from September next academic year, then we are offering a traineeship. The traineeship will be based at Adams Park. We've got a classroom that overlooks the pitch, as you can see from the picture on the right-hand side there. The traineeship will be made up of work experience within the Sports and Education Trust, as well as employability skills and English and maths should you need it. This is a great opportunity for anybody that does want to get into the sports and coaching industry, because we will support you on your journey all the way through. We are possibly also offering a traineeship for anybody aged 19 to 24, but that will be confirmed in the next few weeks. Like I say, it's 5 days a week and that lasts for 12 weeks. As well as catering for younger people aged 16 to 24, we also run lots of adult education courses for anybody over 19 and not in work. We've got one coming up starting in May called Changing Rooms. This focuses on your physical and mental health. We'll also look at personal money management and look at things like your job applications. One good thing we've got is we've got a very high success rate in anybody that comes on our adult education courses. We actually have 100% success and pass rate, which is fantastic. And what we will do is we will support you in moving closer to the workplace, whether that's setting up interviews, helping you apply for jobs, taking you on workplace visits so you can actually see how the industry works. We will support you in your journey along the way. So some key contacts here. You can see a good source of information is the website, www.set.co.uk. All the information will be on there, but there again, there's some key contact details there. So I'll leave that on the screen for a moment for anybody to make a note of those. But if anybody's got any questions, then please feel free to ask.
Great. Thank you so much, Mark and G.
No problem.
For joining us today. And, G, I have got a nice comment for you that well done on winning your award. So that's great. Congratulations for that. And Sophie has also mentioned, great to see the Kickstart jobs available with your company. And I think lots of people, especially young people, looking for training and employment, experiences especially, and I think this is going to be really useful. So thank you so much for sharing lots of information with us today, and I'm sure people must have found it so useful. Thank you for joining us, and I'm sure we will catch up again, it's always a pleasure to work with you guys. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you, G. Thank you, Mark. Bye. All right, so that was Wickham Wanderers with us. Such great information. So please do apply, for all the jobs available, training courses, plus sports sessions. I think that sounds fantastic. Now, moving on to our next guest speakers, we got Jasmine and Rebecca Williams from Action for Youth. And they are going to talk about a program. They are delivery partners for NCS program in Milton Keynes, Bucks and Slough. And they are here to share the information on this program and how young people can sign up for the 2021 summer uptake. So let's hear from them.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you very much, Baz. So yeah, my name's Jasmine and this is Rebecca, and we're both NCS project leaders working at Action for Youth. So the main programme that we are here to talk about today.
Just could you start our slideshow? Thank you.
So we are here today, as Baz said, to talk about NCS, but we thought we'd start by introducing Action for Youth in case you didn't know who we are and the other programmes that we offer. So we're a youth charity working across Buckinghamshire, Milton Keynes, Slough and the surrounding areas, offering lots of different opportunities for young people. So we own an outdoor education centre in Milton Keynes called Caldecott Experience. So we do a range of different activities, both land and water based there. So we go there actually for our NCS programme, which we'll talk about in a moment. We also represent over 100 youth clubs and different youth organisations, supporting them officers to offer those opportunities for young people. And then we have a range of programmes. So this is the Duke of Edinburgh Awards. We also do a programme called the Inspiration Programme, which is run in local schools and colleges and gets young people, gets them prepared for life and future employment. As I said, the main reason we're here today to talk about is NCS. So we both work on the Action for Youth NCS team. I've worked on it for about 7 years now, Bex for 2. So Action for Youth has actually been an NCS provider since the pilot programme. So this will be our 11th year of running the programme. So previously, we've just delivered in Aylesbury Vale and High Wycombe, but for this year, for the first time, we'll be also delivering the programme in Milton Keynes and Slough, which is obviously really exciting. To date, we've worked with over 4,000 young people, and obviously we're hopefully to keep going that as we go along. So if we can now start by playing video 1, and then we'll give you a bit more information about what NCS is.
Not watch the follow.
No, actually, we can't.
Hiking? You can't even get out of bed.
We can.
Skirts? They just can't.
No, we can.
So you can't do this.
You can't do this!
No.
You can.
You can't write a book.
No. You can.
You can't wear that.
No, we totally can.
No, we can.
Search NCS for the summer that turns no you can't into no we can.
Okay, so what is NCS? So NCS is a government-run programme and it is run nationally, so there are lots of different providers across the country and we are one of the local providers. And as Jazz said, we cover those areas as mentioned before. Obviously last year it was very different for us. We're used to running 3-week programmes where we go away for a couple of weeks and then we have 1 week where we concentrate on social action projects. But last year we were only actually able to do some socially distanced programmes. So some of you might have already done Keep Doing Good or some of our autumn programmes. But we're going to tell you what the options are for this year. So obviously it was difficult as well for lots of you. Last year it's been a hard year, but we are really looking forward to this summer. And over 600,000 young people have already done and completed NCS across since it's the beginning of NCS. And as Jasmine said, we have provided 4,000 places while we have been running it at Action for Youth.
Yeah, so NCS is offered to all Year 11s and Year 12s. So you may have already had some assemblies or some representatives of NCS coming into your schools and doing parents' evenings, because NCS is optional. So it's a voluntary programme that young people sign up if they wish to do so, and it's runs in the summer. So we will offer dates a bit later, but basically throughout the school holiday. So the idea is after, well, previously if you did GCSEs, but after the school term, obviously you might have a long break until then you go into your Year 12 or Year 13. So it offers you an opportunity, especially when we haven't been able to do anything for so long, to be able to get out, meet other young people and have lots of fun. But how does it work? So as Bex said previously, we've only delivered 3-week programmes. However, because of obviously the current climate, we're offering both 3-week and 2-week programmes. So the structure of the programme is the same, but obviously the 2-week programme will obviously just be a bit more condensed. So the first phase of the programme is called Be Epic. So this is either a week where you go away on a residential, so you stay away for 4 nights and 5 days, or you'll just have the 2 days if you do the 2-week program, where you do lots of outdoor activities. So from kayaking to canoeing, climbing, abseiling, team building activities. This week is all about obviously having loads of fun, getting out and trying something new, challenging yourself, but also working on those skills like leadership, communication skills, teamwork. So you'll be matched with 15 other young people. So we have teams of 16. So the idea is that you meet lots of other young people from different schools across the area, and you'll stay in that team for the whole rest of the programme. So this is a really good phase where you get to know each other better and become a bit of a unit, so you can then go on with the rest of the programme together.
We then move on to the second phase, which is live life. So in the 3-week programme, this will be the second week. And in the 2-week programme, this will just be the sort of last few days of that first week. And in this phase, you'll obviously be, again, in the same teams with your same team leader and assistant team leader, and you'll be learning lots of different skills. So obviously after year 11 or going into year 12, you've been doing lots of academic stuff maybe, but this is a real chance to learn something outside of that. So we have skill sessions where we look into politics, we look into confident speaking, you might be doing some first aid. In this week, we explore the community. We might help you to think of some healthy recipes that you can perhaps cook and enjoy. And we also do drumming as well, which is really fun.
Very loud session.
And very loud. But this week is all about learning new skills. So, we want you to take as many new experiences as you can from this week, and also then go into the next phase with those skills as well.
The next part of the programme is Do Good, and this is where you will complete a social action project with the rest of your team. So each team is matched with a local charity partner or local charity organisation. We ask you what you're interested in, and then you're matched with a local charity based on that interest. And then you as a team will go and visit that charity or organisation and then have to design a project that's part volunteering, part fundraising and part raising awareness. So we've had young people do a sponsored tree hug before. We've had them lots of sponsored walks, different sponsored events, lots of cake sales, really outside the box things, which is really great. And you'll see on screen some of the social media that's happened previously in different areas, and I think we're on there somewhere as well. So this is a really great week. It's a great week of rounding off all those skills that you've learned to really help in the community and give something back. Once you've got your project idea, you and your team actually then have to deliver your project plan to like a Dragon's Den style presentation. So we have local business representatives come in, and you can actually get money to help get your project started. So this is another great way of working on those presentation skills and communication skills as well.
And then once you've finished either your 2-week or 3-week programme, we have celebrations after the summer. You can meet up with your friends, hopefully your newfound friends that you've met over your programme, and you'll get a certificate which is signed by the Prime Minister. You might be happy about that, or you might not, but it is a really great certificate to be able to show, as you go forward to uni or to different work placements. And obviously just show off to your family and friends what you've been doing and everything that you've learned over those weeks.
Yeah, and also if you're thinking of or are doing Duke of Edinburgh Award, the Gold DV Award, the residential section, which can be quite hard to do independently, NCS covers as well. So if that's a kind of journey you're going through, then please speak to us about that, because that's definitely something we can sign off for you as well.
Yeah, and that will have obviously been difficult in the past year to perhaps sign that off, so yeah, definitely worthwhile. So how much is NCS? The cost of the programme, if we didn't get any government funding, would be £1,500 per young person. But because there is a significant funding from the government, it's actually only £50. So that's either the 3-week or the 2-week programme. And there are also bursary places available. So if you do need a bursary, please do contact us. We'll give you our contact details at the end of the presentation. And obviously, we want everyone to be able to come on NCS. We think it's such a good programme, and we know that it's worthwhile. So please do talk to us if you need to.
Yeah, don't let money be a barrier. Everyone should have this opportunity. So if it's something you're interested in, definitely get involved.
Definitely. So these are the wave dates. So we call each programme a wave. And as you can see, like we've previously mentioned, there are 2-week and 3-week options in each of our areas. So Milton Keynes, Aylesbury, Slough and High Wycombe, those are the areas that we cover. So on any of the programmes, if it's a 3-week programme, the first week will be in one location. And then the weeks where you're not on residential with us, so that's including on the 2-week programme, these are the locations where the programmes will be held. So in Slough, Aylesbury, Milton Keynes or High Wycombe. As you can see, the Slough programme for the 3-week option has actually already sold out. So there is a waiting list. If this is the only programme that you can join us on though, we do have a significant dropout most of the time, people moving to different waves. So if it's the only one you can do, please do sign up. And I can almost guarantee that you'll be able to get onto there depending on numbers. But obviously there are closer ones to High Wycombe and things like that, if you are able to get to them as well.
Yeah, so places are filled on a first come, first served basis. We launched 2 weeks ago, and already there's quite a lot of programmes that are nearly full or half full. So if you're interested,
please do sign up as soon as you can.
Yeah, we have so many young people every year that kind of wait to see what friends are doing, and then by the time they've made their decision, the places are gone. So yeah, we'll let you know how you sign up at the end though, so don't panic.
Thank you. So we're now going to play our second video. I hope you enjoy it.
Brilliant. So hopefully that video has given you a bit of flavour of what NCS is all about, what it's going to look like. I do appreciate that we have fired a lot of information at you. We just wanted to give you a bit of a flavour of how the programme works and what it is. However, if you wanted more information or you wanted to look into a few more areas, or actually already you're like, yep, this is 100% something I want to do, then the way you sign up is through the NCS website. So if you just search NCS on any of your searching platforms, it will be the first one that comes up, and go onto the website. It kind of breaks down both the programme options, goes through week by week what it looks like, should answer all of your questions. And then obviously we'll just go you through the sign up process as well, but it's all done online. But by just searching NCS, like Bex said, we'll give you our information as well. So if you want any questions about like the local programme that we deliver, we're happy to answer those as well. But yeah, that's what NCS is. And now we're going to talk about the opportunity. We also then have lots of work opportunities for our seasonal programme staff for the programme as well.
So we just need our last video and then we'll talk about those.
NCS, it's all about inspiring, developing and challenging young people. It's really quite emotional seeing the empowerment that you give to young adults. The whole adventure is so rewarding for everyone.
So we have the opportunity for over 18s to come along with us and join us as a team leader or an assistant team leader on each of our waves. So as I've said before, the locations are in Aylesbury, Milton Keynes, High Wycombe and Slough. And this is really a great opportunity if you have maybe, or if you're just started uni or you're just at uni, you haven't got anything to do over the summer, you maybe want to earn a little bit of money. This is such a good opportunity to get so much experience. You get to come along and basically do NCS with us again, but obviously you just have that added responsibility and you can basically improve your leadership skills again, your communication skills, and work with a really great team as well. We have people that come back time and time again to work with us, and we obviously want you guys to have that opportunity as well. So if you are interested in any of these roles, please email us at that ncs@actionforyouth.org, but you can also visit the NCS website as well as emailing us, and that goes through different steps, and it says work with us, and then you just need to choose Action for Youth if you want it to come through to us so that we can get in contact with you. So I think that's all the information that we have about NCS today. Thank you very much, and we're happy to answer any questions that people might have.
Fantastic, Rebecca, Jasmine, that was one brilliant presentation by both of you. It was fantastic, and I can see such lovely feedback for you guys on your session. Sophie, and I agree with her. She said, love the no weekend message from NCS. So important for young people, isn't it? You know, we hear this all the time. Don't do this, don't do that. But I think just go ahead and do it. So that was fantastic. Joe Fox has asked, these sounds like great experiences. Would they be useful for young people with learning difficulties?
Yes, absolutely. We invite all young people to come along and make sure that they are able to be supported along the programme. We just treat every young person as individuals, so we'll just work with them to be able to ensure that they can come along on programme too.
And we make sure in that first week that all the sessions can be adapted for different physical abilities as well. We have really strong partners with all our local SEN schools as well. So for some people that feel that this programme may be a bit more challenging for them, we do offer bespoke programmes during the autumn as well, that would be an option for them. But yeah, like we said many times, we really believe that NCS should be offered to everybody, all young people.
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing. Sharon has said that's absolutely amazing. Halima has also said amazing and love that quote. Don't let money be a barrier, just reach out. So that's a great message from you guys. And it looks so much fun, Joe said. So guys, thank you so much for being with us today and, you know, for sharing such great information to young people. And I'm sure, you know, you will receive lots of applications for your summer uptake. And I can't wait to, you know, catch up again with you guys and work on another project. So have a really good day and take care.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Bye.
Take care. Bye. Well, that was so good, wasn't it? Like lots of opportunities. I mean, did you imagine that we got so much opportunities available around us? So young people, you are watching us right now. I hope you all are finding it useful. And those who have just joined us, a big welcome to all of you. With that, I'm going to invite my next guest speaker, who is very passionate about networking. He believes that this is the fastest way to get into employment. How to get a job through networking, the one that you want. Let's find out from David Lett, and he is from Toolshed. Hi, David.
Hi there, how are you?
I'm good, David. Thank you so much for joining today.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. It's good to be here. It's a bit odd when you can't see your audience, but I guess I'll get used to it as I go along. So, yeah.
I know. But you know what? Lots of people are watching you. So, you know, just share all the expertise that you have got for us today. Good luck.
Okay. Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm David Lett from the Toolshed. I'm one of the founders of the Toolshed Training Centre, and we started out in High Wycombe, actually. It's been a partnership, a very, very positive partnership over the last 6 years with Red Kite Community Housing. They've been massively supportive for us and helped us to grow and reach out to benefit more and more young people over the last 5 to 6 years. So just very, very quickly, I'm here to focus on this particular topic of networking because I'm really, really passionate about it. But I just wanted to give you a quick flavour for who Toolshed is. So we are a training centre with a little bit of a difference, and I'll come to that in a minute. So in June 2015, we opened up a construction skills training centre. So we teach young people, predominantly 16, 17, 18 years old, construction crafts. And it's plumbing, carpentry, painting, decorating, joinery, those sorts of skills, and tiling. That enables them then to go out and get work or start a career in construction, but they don't necessarily have to. So some of our young people have gone to work for builders merchants. That type of outcome can happen too. We've had roughly 180 young people graduate from our construction skills course, and roughly about 90%, so 9 out of 10 of those have gone on to secure work as a result, which is a fantastic outcome. And then we added in a work placement orientated program. So we call it the work and study program. And that's where we work with you and find a work placement for you 3 days a week. And then we come to the work placement. One of our tutors comes to that work placement, and you do your functional skills, English and maths, and some employment preparedness type work as well. And then we have a final program. It's an independent life skills program called Achieve. And that helps young people develop independent life skills. It does exactly what it says on the tin. So at the end of this presentation, I'll put up our website logo, URL, so you can actually find us there if you want. But look, search for Toolshed. We're on Facebook, and we're also on the web. So you'll find our contact details there. Just get in touch, and if you're interested in finding out more, you're more than welcome to. So why am I so passionate about why is networking so important? Well, without further ado, just going to move on to the next slide. I've got the simple wheel here, and there's 3 words in it: who I am, what I know, and who I know. And I've proportioned those in that circle based on their importance to me. And this is something that I've developed over my life. And I've decided my greatest asset in life is who I am. So how I come across, my attitude to life, how I represent myself, how people see me. And I would say that 80% of the sales I've made in my life, so the work that's been commissioned from me, the jobs I've actually got and secured through interviews, is all down to who I am and how I come across and the way in which people see me. That principle of first impressions count is really, really critical. The second most important is who I know. And the Toolshed would not exist today without those 2 elements, and particularly the who I know. I've made it my purpose in life to get to know a lot of people. My personal database of contacts is over 6,000 people. I know a lot of people, and that's how I get things done. I don't get it done by what I know. That is the smallest portion of what's made me successful in life. So I'm not knocking what I know. Knowledge is really important, but the knowledge of who to go to is more important than me containing all the knowledge. So I guess I'm sending a message out there to all those young people that might be listening, or parents of young people that might be listening. If your children are struggling through the school system and they're not coming out necessarily with a set of outcomes, grades, certificates that ideally they think they might need, all is not lost. You can use networking to actually get where you actually want to go, because who you know and who you are counts for roughly 90% of the success you can have in life. And that is, I'm 53 years old, and I've followed this model for 30 years, and it's certainly led me to be successful. So what goal is an employer seeking to achieve when they employ? That's a photo of one of our Toolshed training groups. That's about 5 years old now. We like to have fun. If learning's not fun, then what's the point, really? And I actually did really, really well at school. My brain suited school. I happened to have 2 degrees. Yet I still think who I know and who I am counts much, much more than the knowledge and the certificates I've acquired over my life. So what is the goal? an employer is seeking to achieve? Well, weirdly, not employing the wrong person. For example, this person. Well, unless he's right for your organization. Perhaps wasn't right for the world, and perhaps he wasn't quite the right person for the President of the United States. But most organizations, weirdly, do not want to employ the wrong person. So when they go into a job interview, they're asking that question, are you the wrong person? Slightly weird, isn't it? But actually, most employers have that in their mind because it's a nightmare for them if they do actually end up hiring the wrong person. They've wasted all that interview time, all that selection time, all that probation time, because you end up being the wrong person. So the key thing when you go into interview processes or when you network is convincing someone you are the right person and you're certainly not the wrong person. So how does an employer employ? Well, this is really interesting. This is based on evidence tracked over the last 50 years. It actually started in America, and finally we're getting the information over here. So an employer employs like this. So imagine someone is a manager of a team and someone's going to leave that team and they need to replace them. Well, the first step they take is they ask their team. The second step, they ask the department. The third step, they ask the whole organization. The fourth step, they ask their friends. Then they go out to their own network. Then they might ask their preferred agency. And that's when a CV starts to kick in. So look at the first 5 steps that an employer is taking to find someone to be an employee in the organization. It's got little or nothing to do with a job application or a CV. Now, that doesn't mean that a CV is not important. You do need to have that in your kit bag. You do need to have that ready. But if you're an employer like me, when you read a CV, I've employed, I think, somewhere around 2,000 people over my career. A lot of people. I've had a lot of job interviews that I've taken. And the thing I look for in a CV is the inconsistency. So, for example, if someone puts down a word as a strength, they might say, I'm a resilient person. I'm the type of interviewer that will say, give me an example. I don't want you to put words on your CV that tell me about you if they're not true. So if you said you're resilient, give me an example of when you've been resilient. If you said you're tough-minded, give me an example. If you say that you stick at things, give me an example. So make sure when you go into interviews or you're networking, you're being honest and truthful about what you're actually doing. So what we tend to do and what we tend to be taught is write a CV, put a job advert out there, and then wait. Well, that's certainly not what I'm advocating through the networking model. You've got to be a lot more proactive than that. So small business, big impact. 90% of employers are small, okay? They employ less than 10 people. 90% of all the employers in the United Kingdom are small businesses. And 95% of them want to employ someone they know or is recommended to them. For example, a cafe or a restaurant or someone selling food on the high street or as their business is much more likely to employ someone who walks in and asks for a job, who's then offered a chance to do a quick placement there, just for a day even, and they take it and go for it. There's a high conversion of that versus someone who drops a CV off and expects that employer to get in touch with them. A lot of small businesses are just too busy. The average owner of a small business, or the average number of hours a day they work is 12 hours a day, and many of them work 7 days a week. They do not have the time to trawl through CV after CV after CV, but they put a lot of stall, a lot of importance on someone who walks in and is willing to have a go at whatever it is they need them to do right then and there. So 95% of them want to employ someone they know was recommended to them. In other words, they'll use their network. Small businesses network massively. They go to network groups, they have network clubs, they have a large network and circle and contacts that they actually reference. So you're much more likely to get work through networking to find them. That is why networking is so important. So I want to talk briefly about this concept of 6 degrees of separation. It sounds quite complex, but it isn't. And I'll give you an example of how we used it some years ago. When I first learned it myself, I was sitting at a table with 8 people, including me at the table, and we played a game. We had to come up with the name of someone that was really famous, and we had to find out how many people would we need to know, who would know someone who knew someone that would know this person. And the person we actually chose was Barack Obama. Now, one of the people at the table happened to have a friend, so 1 degree of separation, whose father, 2 degrees of separation, knew the UK ambassador to America. 3 degrees of separation, he can get access to Barack Obama. So in only 3 simple network steps, we managed to network our way to someone who would know the President of the United States. And that's the principle of how networking works. You have lots of different types of people that you know in your network. And so how do you apply that? Well, in 2000, so going back a long time, some of the people on this call might not even been born then, but I certainly was. And I was starting a new business. Now, I'm a New Zealander by origin. I didn't go to school in this country, and so I didn't have a natural network. In fact, my little contacts book back then had no more than about 20 names in it. So from 2000 to now, I've acquired over 5,900 more people in my network. And every single week of every single business week since the year 2000, I've accumulated at least 5 new network names in my network, and I've done it deliberately. So I keep expanding my network, and I've just seen the opportunity grow week on week by doing that. So how did I do it initially? Well, I went out there and I met people. I went to networking groups. But you can do it within your social circles. Okay, who do you know within your friend circle who might know someone who may actually be employing people in a role that you're interested in? Within your family circle, do you have a large family, or do you have quite a diverse family? You should be using those in order to build your network. The more people you know, the more opportunity you will create, and the more people will be working for you to help find those opportunities. So how strong is your network? So here's a little exercise for you, and I'm happy to send this exercise out to Red Kite, and they can distribute this or make it available on their website if they want to. I'm going to suggest you take a piece of A4 paper, you write your name in the middle and circle it. Now write the names of direct contacts you know and circle them. Now draw lines between those contact names where the people know each other as well. What does your diagram look like? Well, does it look like this? Interestingly, when I first did this exercise, that's what my diagram looked like. And I sat back with a big smile on my face. I said, look at my network. Everybody knows everybody else. And then the person taking the group said, that is a poor network. That's a weak network. Okay? Everybody knows everybody else. So there's nothing in there that relates to diversity. They may be all people that know me. They're all like me. They all have the same interests. But I'm not going to create opportunity through a network like that. This is the type of network I need to create. So in this network, I know A, and A knows D, but I don't know D. Now that's strong, because I don't have to know everybody. I just have to have a strong network. So my 6,000 people will all know a minimum of probably 100 people. Well, suddenly my network now is 600,000 people. Massive. I've got a huge network. I know B and I know C. We all know each other. But C doesn't know E. And A, B, most of the others don't know E. And E's got quite an extensive network. So what you want to do is you want to meet lots of different people. So you've got your friend circles. Okay, you wouldn't necessarily introduce your friend to your auntie and your uncle. So that's a separate network. Perhaps you've got 3 or 4 different auntie and uncles from different sides of your family that don't necessarily mix. Well, that's where you can start creating your network. And so people often think that building a network is a really difficult thing to do. Well, it's not. It's just every time you meet someone, make sure you capture something about them, have a conversation about what they're looking for and what you're looking for. So that's a strong network. So how to build a strong network? We'll focus on really on how you can help another person. That is the benefit of networking. Whenever I meet anybody new or anybody on my network reaches out to me for help, I help them. That is the first fundamental step of building a network. Remember, your most important strength is what type of person you are. And if people come to know you as a person who helps other people, you'll get a lot of interaction. Yes, you have to put time and effort in. People aren't generally asking for a lot of time and effort, though. You might be looking at 5 or 10 minutes of help, maybe listening to them, maybe having a quick chat to them, maybe sending them something that you've got, some information you might have, or connecting them up with another person that you know that might be able to benefit them. Seek to give to the network. So always be looking to give to the network. The largest contract I ever won in my life, which was worth £500,000, I networked my way to it over 18 months, and that was the outcome. So was it worth the 18 months? Absolutely, when I won that contract. Foster the relationships. Keep it active. Ring people up every now and then, have a chat. I'm completely hands-free in my car. Everything's done through the car terminal. So I often, if I'm on an hour's journey, rather than sitting there listening to the radio, I'll ring people up and have a chat to them. It's just a chat, just a conversation. Hey, how are you? How's your business? How are things going? So I use that time to build and foster my network. Communicate with your network, should get some spelling going here, shouldn't I? At least every 90 days, and build your network to try and contain about 1,000 people. I learned through another course I went on, you want over time to try and build your network, which includes anybody that you know. So it can be your parents, it can be your brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles, anybody. It can be your school friends. You want to get to roughly 1,000 people, and then magic things start to happen in terms of opportunities that will come your way. So there's a bit of work to do if you're starting out now, but you could probably get there quite quickly, within a year to 2 years if you started quickly. And that's it. So I hope you found that useful. I'll just flick back to the other slide so we can keep that up and you can keep those there. If you want to know a little bit more about the Toolshed, you're more than welcome to get in touch with us. It's toolshedbucks.co.uk. We've got our centres are in High Wycombe, but we have students that come from all over the place to be with us. So yeah, thanks a lot for listening, and I hope you got some value out of that.
Absolutely. Well, that was one fantastic advice. Networking, and I couldn't agree more. I would second that, David, that it's so important to network with people. It's always about who you know, not what you know, actually. And I've got some great feedback for you. Nahida has said, interesting to learn about the 6 degrees of separation and how important networking is to everyday life. We got another comment, totally agree that networking is key. Your network bring opportunities into your lives. Great advice, David. So I think that was absolutely fantastic, David. It was great to have you on board with us today. And I'm sure people must have learned, such great techniques to network with people, because, it's not easy for everyone. Everyone is different. Some people find it easy to, network. Some people are not, they are a little bit shy, but I think if they follow your...
Baz, everybody has the capacity to give something, and you just have to think just listen and think, what could I, and actually the greatest gift you can give most people is just listen. So if you are a bit shy and introvert, like I am, I'm shy and introvert. I can't believe
that.
I am. I'm an introvert that learned to be an extrovert, and I practice at it. And, at the end of the day, if there's something, if you have a goal in life, something you want, you have to develop your strengths for sure. But you've got to overcome some of those weaknesses that you might have. And I've done that. I'm no born extrovert that just went out there in the world and took it on. I was very introvert when I was young, and I developed the skill set over time. Just keep at it, and you'll get there.
That's great. I agree again with you, David. I think you're right. It's about what tools you're gonna use to network, and I think if young people follow your advice and tips today, it shouldn't be a problem, and it shouldn't be hard for them to network now. So I'm sure they will find it useful. And thank you so much for joining us today. Have a great day, and I'll catch up with you shortly. Take care, David. Lovely. So that was David from Toolshed, and I hope you enjoyed the session. We are moving on to our next guest speaker, David Hall. We got another David with us. And he is going to talk about a new charity, Cloudy Foundation, that has recently launched with a focus on young people's digital education. So, and I think he has got something to announce as well in terms of internship. So let's hear from David. David.
Hi, Baz. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, really well. Thanks. Very well indeed. Just been watching some of these guest speakers sessions, and have been really fantastic. I think some brilliant advice for your students, and even I'm taking away advice here and writing it down. It's a really useful day.
Me too. Me too. Thank you so much, David. And I think people are going to find your session useful as well. So I'm gonna leave it to you and spread the magic.
Brilliant. Thanks ever so much. Obviously, thanks first of all to Red Kite for organising this. It's so important to work with young people and prepare them for the future world of work. It's changing rapidly. When I was at school, or Baz and all these speakers, it was such a different world, and within the space of just not even a generation now, within the space of a few years, things change so rapidly. So we've got two sessions happening actually. I'm presenting today about the foundation, and then one of my colleagues, one of our program directors for the foundation, will be presenting tomorrow about our Enterprise Academy, and we'll be launching some information, like you said, Baz, there. But today I'm going to talk a bit about my journey and also about the foundation and what we're doing here at Cloudy Foundation. So very briefly, my name is David Hall. I'm the Managing Director of Cloudy Group, and I've run Cloudy Group for the last 20 years. And I'm also the chair of the Cloudy Foundation. And for many years, I've wanted to start a charity because I've always worked heavily in the community, and it's a big part of what I do, not just personally, but for my business, Cloudy Group. And we wanted to continue that great work, working with young people and technology. And we thought we'd, whilst COVID is happening, do something even more difficult and start a charity. But it was one of the best things we've done, and we're so excited to be running this charity with the aim of helping youngsters find careers, work on projects, and gain real world valuable experience of working in the modern workplace. So just a bit about me, because I think I'm probably an example of a student who would benefit from the Cloudy Foundation. I left school pretty early. I left school at 16. I got a job in the summer working for an IT company. And the person I got a job for, he was a small local one-man band. And during the summer holidays, I didn't get paid. I just worked for him and followed him around. And he was, at the time, I didn't realise it, obviously, but a bit of a mentor, a bit of a role model, and someone I could learn many skills from, not just around technical skills, but some of those soft skills around how to deal with people and really what it's like to earn a living and meet deadlines and communicate and collaborate. So I left school quite early at 16 and got a job working in IT and started an apprenticeship. There's not one set path to find your dream career. I wake up every day and I pinch myself and think, how lucky am I? And, I didn't do that by going to university. I did go back and do my A-levels afterwards, and I was going to go to university, but I chose not to and started my own business. But I think, today's world is very complicated, and there's lots of opportunities for people who don't want to take a traditional path. And, with help and support of peers and mentors and family and teachers and friends, you can achieve some wonderful things. And, it might be a bit overwhelming at first because things happen so slowly. But believe me, when you look back at your life, it seems to happen like someone's pressed fast forward, and all those small decisions, they add up at the end of the day. So I've always been involved with local charities. So when I was a teenager, I was the president of our local Rotaract, which is like the Young Rotarians. I was involved with our CAB locally here in Buckingham. But, community is really important, and building a community and working in your community, can really benefit you. And as David mentioned earlier, about, 6 degrees of separation and building your network. When I started my business, who do you reckon were my customers? All the Rotarians, all these people who knew me as an individual would buy computers from me. So, I didn't do it for that. I did it because I genuinely like to organise events and get involved. But the benefits were that it built my network. So I've always been involved in local charities, and I've always loved to sort of give back to the community. And it's really helped me over the years. And as we grow at the foundation and the Cloudy Group, we're doing some wonderful things all over the country now, which is really exciting. So I haven't just been involved in IT all my life. I have other interests. I've been involved in multiple businesses, including the music industry, the events industry. So you're probably getting a bit of a theme here that I like to, IT is what I earn money in, but I'm just a bit of a creator. I like to create stuff. And that could be, you know, creating a new service or a product that we sell to our customers, or it could be, you know, creating a marketing or a sales strategy, or it could be, you know, running an event, which is really exciting. So just a bit about me really there. So, obviously the Cloudy Foundation. So we've created the Cloudy Foundation because we have seen with COVID a huge disruption taking place. You know, double disruption, and it, you know, obviously the world is changing at an incredible rate, and you know, young people need to be equipped to, you know, find the job of the future, and the job of the future is changing so quickly. So preparing you to enter the workplace is key. And what we do here at the foundation is we have a number of projects that can just assist you with that. Obviously, school does a fantastic job, and school is incredibly important. You know, there's nothing worse than trying to go for your dream job and not having the correct GCSEs or A levels. You know, when you're in your 20s and having to retake your GCSEs, that's not a nice experience. So yeah, knuckle down, get your you know, A to C and G, you know, English, math, science, etc. But there are so many other skills. You know, we're living in a digital economy now where, you know, you can start a business in seconds. You can sell a product in seconds. You know, the world is your oyster. And, you know, if we can prepare young people for the challenge of starting a business, then some amazing things can happen. So that's what we're here to do at the Cloudy Foundation, is work with young people, provide them opportunities to work on real projects for real customers, and then obviously work with them on an ongoing basis. So our inspiration, you know, it came from all the work we've done over the years. So we've worked in schools, we've worked with some amazing partners to run events where effectively, you know, we all work together to you know, deliver a solution that can be used within a school or by a company, by you, the young people. So that's our inspiration really, is trying to work with yourselves to kind of come up with solutions that can be used within schools and give you the opportunity to do that. So I had a slide here, which I was going to play a short video of one of our students who we worked with last year, who developed an app for a council, a green spaces app, and it's being used by this council. So really exciting. So he worked on a real project with a real deadline, which is being used by this organization right now. And he did a terrific job. And this is the exact example of what we're trying to do now. So we're looking for youngsters to work on projects with councils, with businesses, and with our engineers, with experts and with certified engineers, etc. They can create those solutions and feel like they've really contributed to society and gain some great work experience, which, you know what, later on in life, hopefully will be really important. So there's a video here. I'm not going to play it because I haven't got time today to do that. But please do have a look. If you look at the Cloudy Enterprise Academy, you'll find that. And I can post a link somewhere after the event as well. But I don't have time to play that today. So what do? Well, we have two main programs at the moment. We have the Enterprise Academy, which is a virtual workspace where young people can join the virtual workspace and be introduced to key applications and key services and get to test out all their ideas and train and talk to their fellow peers. We are also looking to provide programming and coding workshops where young people can work on microbits and work on Raspberry Pis remotely with our experts. And then we work with our partners on this. And obviously we're here today talking to Red Kite, but we're working with other organizations as well, running events to give people those digital skills that they need. And that's the Tech Labs. So the Tech Labs are us working on one-off projects. An example of a Tech Lab that we're doing at the moment is with the Aylesbury Community Board, where we're creating a survey for young people to basically tell us of their experience of COVID. Okay, so they're going to create the questions, create an app that you can download from the Google Play Store, and then you can put all that data in and market that. And then obviously the people, you know, the council can look at those results and really decide on what services they spend money on because it's been collected by the students. So really exciting to be working with some great partners, you know, including Red Kite Housing as well. And finally, tomorrow, my colleague Matthias will be speaking. And Matthias he sort of approached it a different angle than me. So I left school quite young, and built up a business from scratch. And Matthias is an academic. He's been in higher education and he's a learner, and he's been doing all this for many years. And he's a big part of our Cloudy Foundation. Between the two of us, we're obviously using our experience to work together to help students and to help them find their career and their best course in life. So Matthias is speaking tomorrow about the Cloudy Enterprise Academy and how young people can join us to work on projects that are being delivered for our customers. And we've got a really exciting announcement to make, that we've got a project that requires some young people to work on, and we'll basically asking people to come and join us for that. So Matthias is speaking tomorrow. Please do tune in for his session there, where he'll talk more about the Enterprise Academy. And that's it for my session. If anyone wants to join us, please do head to our website, cloudyfoundation.co.uk, where we've got some information on what we do as a charity. And please do get in touch. I'd love to hear from you. So that's it. Pretty short and sweet today. I'm not saying too much, but I hope it was really useful for anyone who listened. And please do reach out if you have any questions.
David, well, whatever you have said is great, and I can tell you, I can see some great feedback for you. Carla has said, I love this. What amazing opportunities. And then I have got another message for you from Jo. She has said, COVID-19 has changed the landscape of digital inclusion and has exposed digital divides within our communities. It's fantastic to see the support you provide. So wonderful work. And David, I'm a big fan of your work. I follow you so closely on LinkedIn. And I think whatever you guys are doing and all the support you are providing to our young people, it's phenomenal. So thank you so much for doing what you are doing. And I'm sure we will be working on some great projects like that in future. I can't wait to, have a chat on that. So thank you for joining us today, and we'll catch up soon. Take care, David.
Good luck. Take
care. Bye. So that was David Hall from Cloudy Foundation. I'm going to invite our second last speaker. My God, time is flying by quickly. Charmaine from kipera.org, and she's here to talk about Kickstart program and volunteering opportunities to gain experience in admin, social media, and cooking sector. So before we go on to Charmaine, there is a nice, lovely video from her. So let's take a look.
It's a community interest company based in High Wycombe. What we do is help people learn about their health, food and nutrition, teaching people skills, sharing information about keeping healthy emotionally, physically and mentally. I've just had a class here today with the young carers where we had 8 children, helping them to learn about food, the importance of food, the main food groups and what food can actually do for us and our health and general well-being. Why did I start Kafira? Well, for about 15 years I had my own health issues. I was going back and forth from the doctors and I wasn't really getting anywhere. So I decided to take my health into my hands and went to a nutritionist who taught me about how important food was for my health. And I thought, if it was so simple, why aren't other people doing this? So I decided to help other people learn how to manage their health through food. What we're really going to do is just help people locally manage their health, teach them about food, help them to learn about their bodies, gain self-awareness, self-confidence, and be able to use that in other areas of their lives.
Charmaine, we can't hear you, my lovely. I mean, are you on mute? Have you unmute your mic?
I can unmute my mic, and I'm really apologetic for that.
All right, no problem. You can just start again. Thank you.
So let's go back to the beginning. Yes, hopefully you can hear me and see me as well now, just not see me miming. Yeah, so as I said, you've seen what I do, and Kapira actually means transform, and that's what we help people do, as you've seen. As well as making beautiful dishes like this, which are all plant-based, believe it or not. I know they look really tasty. They are all plant-based. We help people learn about themselves. I'll give you a little bit of story, a bit of background about myself. Imagine me, 10 years old, enjoying life. I grew up in High Wycombe, and I lived on the council estate in St Hughes Avenue. Growing up with my mum, when I hit 10 years old, I was fine. As soon as I hit 11, within 12 months, I went from being underweight to overweight. My body was aching, had pains all the time, and I didn't know why. Everybody told me it's growing pains, aches and pains. By the age of 18, I thought, no, you lot are having a laugh. It cannot be aches and pains and growing pains. There's got to be something else going on. So I started investigating, going to the doctors. That led me to nutrition and actually helping myself through food. And I just thought, something so simple, we go to school, we go through life, and something so simple that can help so many different people. Why aren't we learning it? And I decided that I'm going to help people learn about that. Young people, people with health conditions, families on low incomes that can't afford to go to nutritionists. Those are the type of people that I want to help. And the reason why I will do that is because I know that it can motivate people. It can give people the confidence. If you can manage your own health and your own body and look after yourself and nurture yourself, why not? So, you know, as we grow, we go through so many changes. But like I said, when I got to 18, I knew something was wrong and I was right. And you know what? We have to understand our own bodies and listen to our bodies. That is the thing that I learned. And when I was asked to join here today, I'm so glad that Red Kite are having this event so that you can learn things from professionals like myself. I'm calling myself a professional now, wow. Yeah, so like for professionals like myself that can actually help, you know, you through your teen years and give you some good advice. So when I thought about what would I share with you, there's three things that if I go back, I wish somebody had told me. And the first one is, it's all about you. If you think about life, you know, where do we come from? Look at these two cars, for instance. The one at the top, you can obviously see that it hasn't been cared for. If you think about it, what is the difference between it? You can see all the visual differences. But when I think about it, I think, well, what happened to the one at the top? Did they not put fuel in it? How come it's just abandoned in the middle of nowhere? Did it break down? Were they not looking after it? And when you really look into it, that's the only difference. One was looked after, the other one wasn't. You can't really tell the difference in age between the two. But the difference is one was looked after and one wasn't. And that's what I want you to know, that if you look after yourself, focus on yourself, nobody can make another being like you. We all may be able to do the same. We all function the same. Our bodies are quite similar in how they work, but we're all unique. We all feel different. I don't know if growing up, you felt different. Certainly when I was experiencing pain and I saw everybody running around being happy, I thought, well, there's something different about me, you know, but we are different. We're all unique. There's something different about all the billions of people on this world. And you are different to everybody else as well. So you have to concentrate on yourself. Think about yourself and what you like doing, what you enjoy. And that takes me straight onto the next one. You can do anything. It is. Just think of me. Go back to me, 10 years old, living on a council estate. I remember one day, one of my friends, my mum's friends, said to me, "What do you want to be?" And without hesitation, just like that, I said, "Prime Minister." Where did that come from? Thinking back now, I haven't got a clue. But I had the confidence then to think that I could be Prime Minister. And you know what? I'm not there yet, but you never know what happened one day soon. But regardless of where you start, what you experience, what you go through, you can do anything. We all go through obstacles. You will go through obstacles. That's inevitable, because you know what? Those obstacles are making you stronger. It's like, you know, pumping iron, building your muscles, it's flexing your muscles, building you up for the next obstacle. So each obstacle becomes easier. So, you know, you can do anything regardless of what you've experienced, regardless of the disappointments that you've had. Know that you can always get through it and that you can always achieve something. I know sometimes we have a little thought in our head. If we think of a really brilliant idea, it comes in one side and then the other side, something comes in. Now you can't do that. Ignore that voice, because you can. As long as you can think it, you can do it. You might even share your idea with somebody else and they say, nah, I don't think that will work. If you really feel inside that it will, I'm not saying don't listen to anybody, because there are some people out there with some good advice, but you have to step back and think, okay, what are they saying? Why are they saying that? And actually take on the good bits. Take the good bits, leave the bad bits. And that's with everything that you go through in life. Take the good things with you, because those are the lessons. And know that, you know what, I'll use that little bit of information to help me in the future, because you know what, I'm an amazing person. I'm a unique individual. I am everything and I can do anything. But you might sit down there and think to yourself, so this is a bit about any obstacle. You can get over any obstacle. You might sit down there and think, yeah, you're saying that, but yeah, what do I do? I'll tell you a little secret. I actually didn't know what I wanted to do until I was about 30. And then I just had to try and go for it. And it didn't take me a year, 2 years. It was only 10 years after that that I actually made the move to go for what I wanted to. But I didn't have somebody like me telling you all about their experiences and giving me some really good information that would help me to make that decision earlier. And the key to it is do what you love. You really have to think about things that you're good at. I used to think, when people used to say, oh yeah, do what you're good at, and I think, well, what am I good at? Do anything. There is something. There's something unique about you that you can do, nobody else can do. The idea that's come to you, the thoughts, it's just for you. And you have to bring that to the world. So let me just go on to this. There's so many jobs in the world that we can do. And like I said, I didn't know what I wanted to do until I was 30. I realized that you can learn to do anything that you want to. Just put your mind on it. It takes time, it takes patience, it takes practice, but just keep your eye on that prize and you will get there. I know that sometimes when you're doing things as a teen, you might think your parents are saying things, your teachers are saying things, your friends are doing things and they look really good. You might be really confused and not know what you can do, but you do have a talent, something that just comes so naturally to you, something that you really enjoy. Find something that you really enjoy. You might even be able to do something so naturally that you take it for granted, but just really sit back, look at yourself and look at what your strengths are, what your skills are, what you really enjoy doing. Just like me, I didn't think that I could be PM, and I'm not there yet, but you know, I love talking to people. I love helping people. That's what a Prime Minister does, and that's what I'm doing. And to me, that's success. And when you're doing what you do and what you enjoy, you will find success in that. So as I said, you know, look at yourself, concentrate on yourself. Don't look at what other people are doing, and you will find something that you enjoy. And remember to keep on practicing, carrying on with what you love and what you do. Just keep on taking time on yourself. So if you like to learn, if you like to help other people, if you want to do something different, Kapira, we're looking for volunteers. We're actually registered to take part in the Kickstarter scheme, which is for people that are on universal credit, people that are on job seekers allowance, having disability payments. We're looking for people to join us by the Kickstarter team. We're looking for volunteers. We want you to use your skills, whatever they are. Come and join us and help us to grow in what we're doing to help other people in the community, because there's so many people that need help, and you can do exactly what I'm doing. We really love empowering people, the people that help us, with the volunteers, with our staff. We want to make a really nice environment, create a Microsoft community within the community environment. So we just want people to join us. And if you love what you do, if you have skills and you know what you want to do, you're a bit uncertain, just want to gain some work experience, volunteer with us, volunteer with other groups. But it's a really good way of just testing the waters to see what you want to do. And like I said, if the door knocks, if something comes your way, don't doubt yourself and reject your thoughts and your ideas. You've got the power to do anything. So, just try. And that, come with us. If you want some more information, please do contact me. I hope I haven't gone over time. I've just been scooting through it. So if you've got any comments about what I've said, if you want to ask any questions, please do just put it in the comments, and hopefully we can discuss that in a second. But if you just want some more information, if you want to be motivated, if you want inspiration, just contact us. Here are details. So I've flown through that. I haven't gone over, have I? Baz, I hope that's okay.
Charmaine, you were absolutely fantastic. That was a great presentation. And I can tell you why, because I've got some great feedback for you. Such a motivating session. Thanks so much, Charmaine. And Joe, a great presentation, very relatable, no matter what your age. We can all make those positive changes to improve our lives. Because she said, absolutely love the inspiring messages from Kipera. This is such important messages to hold on to.
Oh, thank you so much.
Halima has said, great message, Charmaine. And I've got another message from Sharon. And she said, you spend so much of your life at work. It's so, so important to try to find a career that you enjoy. And you know what? From this message, Sharon has reminded me of the song, which is quite popular at the moment, which goes like, I'm on vacation because I love my occupation. If you love your job, I think that is the best thing you can ever have in your life, because as Sharon said, we spend so much of our time and hours, probably 50 to 60% at work. So you got to do something that makes you feel happy, and you wake up every day, buzzing and, looking forward to the day. So Charmaine, I know you are doing great stuff in the community, and the Kickstart program sounds fantastic. I really hope that lots of young people apply quickly to you, and I think we'll learn so much from you. I've always been a big fan of your work, and all the support. You're such a great community person. I have felt it always that it sits right at your heart. Community is for you, and you are there for community. So keep doing the great work, Charmaine. And what do you plan for the weekend?
The weekend, I've got another event on later on this week, and then I am relaxing, and just like, did you say Joanne said Sharon said we spend so much time at work.
Work, yes.
I have. It's been such a busy year, although we've had a lot of things happening. I'm actually taking the rest of this week off after tomorrow. So and I'm doing that regularly. So the messages that I'm giving out to people, I'm actually doing it for myself as well, because it's so important that we do enjoy what we're doing. But I have been working a lot. I actually, just a little thing there, when I used to work in corporate world, I used to work in accounts, and I used to think I hated work. I used to wake up in the morning and think, oh, here we go again in the traffic. And now, I'm working constantly, 24 hours a day, I'm working, but I love it. And that's the difference. You do have to love it. So yeah, I'm taking some time out though, just to enjoy life. So yeah.
Finally, well, I am so pleased for you, because I know how much this lady works, always on the go, always busy delivering sessions and stuff. So I hope you enjoy your, your holidays, your time break, and Have a lovely break. You deserve it, Charmaine.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, and I hope everybody enjoys the rest of the event because it's brilliant. It's really, really good. I've enjoyed it myself, what I've heard. So
Oh, thank you so much. Well, great feedback. So take care, Charmaine, and I'll catch up with you, I'm sure. Lovely. So that was Charmaine from capera.org. And we are moving on to our final guest speaker. Although she is the last speaker, but very special. We got Sahar Hashmi with us today. She is a video editor for High Profile Magazine London. And she has covered Brazil award ceremonies, magazine video story for Michelle Obama. And one of her clients includes Rafael dos Santos, who is one of the top most 100 inspiring entrepreneurs in the UK. Sahar is going to talk about how to be a freelance and its benefits. So let's hear Sahar's story and what tips and guidance she has got for young people.
Hey, how are you?
Hello, welcome.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. It's amazing. The event is amazing. I've been seeing some of the speakers before and it's so good.
Thank you so much. Well, we are grateful to you for, for coming as a speaker. And I mean, it was such a great coincidence, that connected on LinkedIn and then, the whole thing started and it's, you've been so supportive as well. So let's hear your story and then we'll talk later.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Sahar Hashmi, and I'm a freelance video editor. As Baz said, I work also with High Profile Magazine in London, and I've edited their cover story video featuring many known celebrities, including Oprah and Michelle Obama. I've also worked with many clients across the world. On top of this as well, videos I have edited have been viewed over 1 million times on different social media platforms. I was born in Lebanon, but I'm currently in Bristol. From a young age, I have been interested in film and TV. As a result, I did a degree in audiovisual in university and learned the ins and outs of the industry, from script writing to the post-production. And it was in post-production that I fell in love with video editing. And I learned all the video editing techniques, from color grading to adding the right music and all that. Of course, we are all familiar with the big blockbuster Netflix series and films. However, the skill of video editing can also make or break adverts, social media, influencer posts, and even online course material. After university, I worked at several production houses in Lebanon. And while this gave me valuable insight into the production of film and TV series, I found that I did not enjoy the way I was managed and the lack of control I would have on my day-to-day location, like being stuck in traffic and stuff like that. So after the realization that on-site filming in Lebanon was not for me, I decided to take a break from the industry and work with my parents. They own a shop before and prepare myself for the next steps. But I kept an eye for opportunities. And however, it became clear that if I was going to work in this area I was interested in, I would need to develop and follow my own route. So in April 2017, I decided I would pursue my career as a freelancer. At first, as anyone starting out on their own, they would tell you it was not easy and it takes a while to build up a portfolio of clients. So I started by creating a profile on Upwork and offered low rates per hour to attract new clients who would give me a go despite me not having any reviews on the platform. I hoped that once a client liked my work and left a good review, that would encourage others to contact me. And as I gained more clients, I could increase my hourly rate. It took a bit of time, but eventually my first client, Rafael, who also the editor-in-chief of High Profile Magazine, contacted me, left me a good review, and business really took off from there. Being a freelancer, you are your own boss, but that also means you are responsible for your growth. A key part of my journey have been learning what forms of promotion work and what forms don't. So I have been increasingly active on LinkedIn, and my work with High Profile Magazine gives me a good exposure with other potential clients. This, combined with my portfolio on Upwork and my current clients who also give me recommendations has helped me a lot and has helped me achieve where I am today. As a result, I have worked with many interesting clients, including Instagram influencer, YouTubers, sports gurus from all over the world, from London to Paris to New York. Whilst it does take hard work and perseverance, there are a lot of benefits in being a freelancer. For those who, like me, who didn't have a positive experience going down the traditional route of employment, one of the main benefits is the ability to take your business down the road that you want to take it and be your own boss. Then you also have the freedom of working wherever you are, as long as you have a good internet connection, which is great for me. It means although I am mainly based in Bristol, I can go back to Lebanon to visit my family and still continue work on my work and do what I love without worrying that I've used so much of the annual leave that any job offers. So, and I've also loved the ability to be creative. Like I have the creativity to see what's best for the project, of course, with the boundary that the client gives. So whilst the employment route may work for any of you, there are maybe some of you who feel that working in a company is not for them, and having the freedom but also the responsibility of being a freelancer is something you seriously want to consider. As such, I'm going to show you a few tips, like 5 tips, that I've learned from when I started 4 years ago till now. First of all, choose your what you specialize in wisely. We all learn as we go, but you need to have at least a base level of competence to deliver for those first clients. Stick it out. Don't get disheartened if things don't take off straight away. It takes time to build any business. Be ready to put in a lot of effort for lower rewards when you're starting out. You need to make some sacrifices to reach your goals. Take advantage of the freedom that freelancing gives you. You have a great ability to fit your work around your life rather than the other way around, and never stop looking out for new opportunities. I want to thank you all for listening today, and I especially want to thank Red Kite Community Housing and you, Buzz, for giving me the chance to speak to you all today. I hope I have given you some insight into life as a freelancer, and if you have any questions or comments, please let me know.
Great, Sahar, what a great success story, and that is one of the feedbacks actually from Zina. It's so good to hear the success story of a freelancer, and by the sound of it, it looks like that you have a great control and great balance between your work and your life. With this career path has provided you. We got another feedback for you. Sophie has said, "Wow, what an impressive career, Sahar! Amazing to hear your journey." And Joe has said, thank you for sharing your journey with us. Well, let's keep coming for you, Sahar. Sharon has said, thank you, Sahar, some great tips at the end. And Fihi has said, wow, Sahar, it is great to hear your story, really insightful. How has the pandemic impacted your work? That is a great question.
Oh yeah, so as you know, the pandemic has affected every sector, as you know, in the event as well. So, but working from home and working with different clients has actually helped me, because now everyone from home, they either need an online course, they need videos to promote their virtual events, they built a YouTube channel. So actually, in a way, it helped my work as well, because I've been working from home for like 4 years, and so yeah.
Yes. So you are a pro at it already. So it didn't you didn't need to change your routine. Whereas us working in the office before the pandemic, and then now we have we quickly learned though. But I think it's been a great learning experience. It has helped us to understand and given us confidence that we can do it. And I think that's probably the way moving forward. I do hope to go. I'm not saying that, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So Sarah, tell me, what do you enjoy the most? Working as a video editor for high-profile magazine London. Please tell us some little bit more about that.
Yeah, so High Profile is very interesting to work with because they, especially now, the magazine have many new contributors, and every contributor from a different business, and they all tell their story in a way. And each month there's a new theme, and with every theme you can see the different point of views of like everyone, how they're introducing themselves in their business or how their business is affecting them. So it's been very, very interesting, and to do their videos, and even we do interviews as well, and to hear everyone. Like last month, there was an interview with Princess Basma from Jordan. So it's very interesting that it's reaching out to many high-profile people. So
Totally,
yeah, yeah, working with Raphael is amazing, and all the team is truly amazing. Like even we can't see each other, but communication through like everyone has been very good. So it's very clear, and everyone knows what they're doing. So it's been amazing.
That sounds like a fantastic experience that you are having with High Profile Magazine London. And you're from Lebanon, Sahar, isn't it?
Yeah, true.
What's the situation out there? I just thought to ask you.
So
pandemic, and how is it different? In Lebanon as compared to UK.
So yeah, mainly the connection, the internet connection there isn't great. So, but here it's easier for me to download everything and send everything more on time. So meeting deadlines and all that stuff. In Lebanon, the situation now isn't great with everything that's going on, but it's a very good place to visit. I look forward to go back in summer and spend some time there because the family is there, everyone's there, everyone's loving. Yeah, the food is amazing.
Oh, I know that. I love Lebanese food. And, actually, it is one on my list. Whenever we can go back on planes, I'm sure I would love to visit Lebanon. Sahar, so you are you in the UK right now?
Yes, I'm in Bristol. Yeah.
Okay. So do you travel quite often? Between Lebanon and UK, or you live here and then you go like during summer holidays to Lebanon?
So I just recently got my visa to stay in the UK. So I've been mainly in Lebanon and then coming and going. Because of my visa, and finally yesterday I got my card to stay. I can now stay for like 2-3 years before applying again. So it's been amazing, and what I like is like this is what helps as well with my job, that I can go anywhere with just my laptop in hand and just work wherever I want. So even if I wanted to take a vacation and someone has an urgent project, I can just open my laptop and just send the project they need. So I love traveling, and so it's good. It's a good experience.
Yeah, I can feel it. Like you love traveling. But tell me, Sahar, how can a young person who would like to be a freelancer, what advice would you give to that person? How to create your client base, because obviously with freelancing you are relying on people to give you the work, or to get some sort of contract or a project. So how do you achieve that, and what kind of techniques you use, to connect with people, and how does it work? Please, if you could explain this, because I think that would be good for young people to know.
Yes, of course. So when I started out, I had to apply to many online platforms. So you need your name out there, because if you don't have your name out there, no one will know you. No one will know your profession. So I started with Upwork Freelancer, the main big platform for freelancing. And once I got the review from Raphael after we did the project, they saw the review he made. And then because it was a good review, many others started sending me invitations to interview, and I applied as well. So one review after another, like my client base became bigger, and they started recommending me for someone else. So it started with a couple of clients, but these clients talk to their friends, for example, their families who wants to be online, have videos online, and that's how it started. And now I'm working with High Profile as well with a campaign to reach more people, and It's been going on so well. So far, so it's been interesting. Yeah, as long as you start with family, friends, and then you get bigger and bigger and bigger, you will get wherever you want. So, and the most important thing is to love what you do. Other than that, you're gonna get bored. But yeah,
Yes.
you need to work hard. It's not gonna be easy. It's the result is very nice in the end, but it took me like 4 years of working during weekends, working long hours. But it's so good. I so love it that I don't mind.
Yeah. So where did you learn? Have you done a particular course, on video editing, or have you got a degree in it? How did you start that career? What?
So yeah, I started in university. I've always loved film and TV, and I've always like watched TV all the time. The series, the big movies. And when I was done with school, I decided to go to university to study audiovisual, and I learned everything: script writing, lighting, video editing. So I always liked the idea to be the behind the scenes person, like not run around at 4 a.m. to sets and stay the whole day there, and long nights and stuff like that. So being behind the scenes, seeing what they filmed is something really beautiful, and making it all together is something I really liked. So because, like, you have rushes, and these rushes have different point of views and different actors and different reactions, and then moving them together and making them into a movie, that's a great feeling. And then the idea that someone else is watching this movie and reaching more people, it's the feeling is great. So I fell in love with video editing and tried my best to have experience in this field, and I tried many places. It didn't work out, and that's when I decided to try freelancing, and it worked. So yeah, thank God.
Yeah, and I can see, it's the vibes I'm getting from you is that you really love what you are doing at the moment, and I think that was the whole idea, Sahar, to have you on board today so that people can learn. Young people, sometimes they don't know, what to do, and they just need a little support, little guidance. I've got 2 girls as well, and I asked them, it's every day changing, sometimes every week changing what they would like to become, So, sometimes my little one would say to me, "Mommy, I don't know what I would like to become." So this is, so I think, they are young, but I think young people need that advice. And I think listening to all the speakers today, and finding out lots of a variety of, career paths and opportunities that's available for them right in the community, and getting all these tips and guidance from people like you, I think that's, hopefully they, I hope they have found really,
hopefully I helped making them interested in video editing, and the other speakers have amazing presentations as well, and it's very interesting watching them and learning. It's really cool. So
lovely.
Thank you again.
Well, I have got I've got a question for you, Sahar. What is the biggest challenge to overcome for a young person looking to become a freelancer? So what is that one thing that you feel like, that's something, you need to have patience, and you need to,
waiting for the right client, not the right client, but waiting for a client, because it's going to take some time before you get known. And as I said, the rates in the beginning, like the hour rates and stuff like that, are not going to be, even if you have a lot of experience, you're starting new. So you need time and a lot of patience to get a client and to reach your goal by the end of the month, for example. So sometimes I look at my schedule, and I don't have as many projects as I had the week before. But when I look again at my schedule the next week, it has way more. So it's the balance. It's the balance that keeps you like loving what you do. And it's just that once you get that first client, it's that feeling, that amazing feeling that you got a client, you're out there, you're doing what you love. It's although it's a challenge, it's amazing.
Yeah, and I think, once you perform or deliver a project, I think then your work starts speaking for yourself. I think, and I think that's exactly what happened in terms of you working for high-profile magazine London, because I have seen the recommendation by Raphael for you, which is a huge achievement, I think. So good luck, Sahar, and all the very best. You know me, I know you now. We are on LinkedIn, so I'm sure we will continue catching up, and I'm sure we'll talk again soon. So
thank you so much. Thank you so much
for joining us,
and hopefully we'll get to meet soon.
Absolutely, we will. I think once things are better, I think we definitely need to go on a nice lunch. So we'll do that.
Okay. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
All right, so that's a wrap. Sahar Hashmi, our last speaker, and we have come to an end for our day one for Better Futures, organized by Red Kite Community Housing. And I would like to say a massive thank you again to all the speakers and contributors for all their support, and I think it's been brilliant. I've thoroughly enjoyed myself today, watching and listening to everyone. Such great people we got in the community, and what great support is going on for young people. If young people are watching me right now, I hope that you found the whole event useful. And please do send us your feedback. If what you would like us to do in future, something different, we rely on that feedback. And once we know how we can help you and support you, I'm sure we can put something, some different sessions for you as well. Now, I am going today, but I will come back tomorrow at 10 a.m. with Better Futures #part 2. And why I'm saying that you need to come back, because we got some more incredible guest speakers and contributors tomorrow, including Tony McHale, who is the British speaker, actor, producer, director, and I think it's great to have him on board tomorrow. We also got National Film School tomorrow coming up, and many more organizations, so you don't want to miss out. And we are going to talk about Red Kite funding. You can secure a grant up to £2,000, which is especially available for young people to help them to take that next step in their career. So you don't want to miss this out, absolutely. So please stay tuned. And I would like to say, stay safe, stay well, and support your communities. Young people are our future. Our future rely on them. And if they are going to, thrive and perform well and be happy, we all are going to be happy. And Red Kite has tried to do, has tried to play a little role, to support our young people. So I'll see you tomorrow. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day.